We are live on BBC Radio Scotland. It is Rangers against St Johnstone with Derek Ferguson, Callum Davidson and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Richard. Yep, good evening. Ibrox is moving towards capacity, certainly, as we near kick-off, and Rangers, well, they really need a win to close that gap back at the top of the Premiership to Celtic and Aberdeen. 8 points behind at the moment, with this game to play tonight to close it to 5. And they had been on a good run up until Thursday night's heavy defeat against Lyon. They'd gone 4 wins on the spin without conceding, and they'll have to regather themselves to go again here. New era for St Johnstone of sorts. Simo Valakari is here. He's perched in the main stand just behind us over my right shoulder. You can see the various photographers lined up across the touchline taking his picture. And we'll be interested to see, although not officially in charge, whether he has had an imprint on this team of sorts. Work permit issues, and I'm sure he'll be in place for a home game against Ross County, which feels massive when they come back from the break. But tonight it's Andy Kirk and Alec Cleland's back in the dugout and looking to see if they can stop this poor St Johnstone run as Rangers kick us off. They are shooting towards the Broomland stand here at Ibrox and immediately go long towards Cyril Dessers, but Jack Sanders, the St Johnstone centre back, heads it up and away. A couple of changes for Rangers, Barron and Lawrence dropping out, and Raskan, McCausland in. A couple of changes also for St Johnstone, Kyle Cameron and Graham Carey dropping out, and Essel and Kimpioka back from suspension, of course. And here's Diamonde up towards the edge of the box, gives it in, and that was a little pass from Bayrami looking for McCausland in the box, but it was well cut out. And Rangers immediately on the front foot here as McCausland goes down the left-hand side, chips a little ball in, good header from Sanders again, gets it away. McCausland will be playing on this left-hand side. Czerny sticking to the right with Bayrami moving in to take that number 10 position, which has been vacated by Lawrence, Derek.
Yeah, it's been a very quick start, very direct as well. Rangers going long, not trying to play through the lines, trying to put St Johnstone under a little pressure. They're certainly doing that. I think Bayrami, if he could have took just a little bit more care with that pass to McCausland bombing down the left-hand side, might have been a better outcome, but it's a decent start from Rangers.
Proper finds McCausland and inside the pitch, then he passes outside to Bayrami on the left touchline midway through the Saints half. Jefte back to Bayrami, and then square for Diamonde, backwards to Raskan. But Rangers knocking it about with purpose in the first minute and a half here as Czerny takes it 6 or 7 yards in from the right touchline. Now Tavernier in the field to Raskan, who's twisting away from Nicky Clark, who was the last man to score for St Johnstone against Rangers, a second in a 2-1 win 7 games ago. Callum Davidson in charge for that one. Here is Bayrami turning towards the box, gives it to Jefte on the left-hand touchline. He's moving towards Dre Wright, goes with a low cross. Sanders doesn't get that convincingly, and then there's a shot from the edge from Diamonde, which is tame and easily taken by Sinclair. 0-0, 2 minutes played.
Yeah, just a little bit concerned, obviously, St Johnstone's system 3-4-1-2. I'm just actually really conscious of the front three and how they're going to press, because in that system your weakness is always the full-backs. So Tavernier and Jefte are going to get on the ball all day, and watch the two centre forwards at the moment. They've got to do a little bit of work side to side. They can't just stand next to centre halves. If that happens, Rangers will just dominate the ball for the whole game. I think they've really got to drop in and work harder. Really hard for the wing backs then to go and engage.
Yeah, they picked off a couple of St Johnstone passes there as Diamonde comes forward into the St Johnstone half. Czerny on the right hand side moving towards the edge of the box, goes on the outside, good pace. Czerny floats the cross in. McCausland was lurking at the back post. St Johnstone head it away. McCausland was in a good position there to try and get an attempt on goal if it had come through to him. Now Jefte on the left hand side goes back to Proper, and then out to the left touchline of McCausland. Controls with outside of the right boot and then shifts it to Proper, then Jefte left hand side in the field to McCausland, turns to face the goal 20 yards out, then the run from Diamonde, across goal, blocked. Dessers was on the edge of the 6-yard box. St Johnstone do enough, and then Mackenzie Kirk controls and fires up towards Kimpioka, who's one-on-one with Suter here, and he's going up the pitch. Kimpioka needs support midway through the Rangers half. He's jinking inside, gives it to Clark and gets the return, and then Kimpioka with a strike, and it's a good block from Proper in the end. Well, that's exactly what St Johnstone want, is to get the pace of Kimpioka on the break.
It's actually quite alarming, you know, when they do win the ball, St Johnstone get it forward and it's 1v1, you know, and Suter does ever so well, you know. I think he had a little grip of Kimpioka's jersey as well, but you don't like to see 1v1 because in our little situation here.
Yeah, and as Kimpioka again makes a nuisance of himself with the ball in behind, but Suter got his body in front and bought the foul, goes down, and it's a free kick to Rangers in their own box. 0-0, 4 played.
Yeah, that's a little thing if you counteract that one, what St Johnstone are doing. I think Rangers then have got to switch on and make sure they just don't leave. Kimpioka is a threat 1v1, and that's what St Johnstone look to do. So Rangers have got to balance that with their attack intent and make sure they don't get caught, because then they'll start to have to chase the game. So it's just that little bit of balance, that little bit of cat and mouse just now when the game just started.
Here is John Suter, the right centre back for Rangers. It's a nice quick pass to Tavernier down the right hand side, and then he goes down the touchline to Czerny, but Andre Raymond has read that really well, come across, but he's under pressure from Czerny, knocks it to Lewis Nielsen, who has to clear it up the pitch. Kimpioka makes a run and he's got it over the halfway line here. Benjamin Kimpioka, a bit isolated, but gets away from Raskin initially, checks back, and then he's bundled to the deck by Tavernier, and it'll be a St Johnstone free kick. Maybe a chance to get this into the box.
Well, St Johnstone, they've had to defend early on in this game, but showing sign of confidence. You know, they're willing to get forward, and you know, again back to that incident. You know, it's quite alarming, you know, to see a 1v1, because Kimpioka has got that pace, he's got that power and skill. You know, but you know, leaving them 1v1, always, you know, taking a big chance in my opinion. So they've got to be more switched on. No, but the two fullbacks, you know Tavernier, Yefty, they're going to bomb forward. They're not going to get cover from the two fullbacks. So I think it's up to Raskin maybe just to sit off it just a little bit, certainly early doors, you know, because Rangers are controlling the game.
Yeah, and that was a disappointing free kick. St Johnstone that didn't get anywhere near a teammate, and that's a wasted opportunity for the visitors, who have started okay here at Ibrox. 5.5 minutes in, and it's goalless. Here's Jefte for Rangers in his own half, and he surges infield, but his path's blocked by Dre Wright and Sven Sprangler. Comes to Bayrami, who's looking for the run up Dessers, and behind, really good header from Jack Sanders to prevent Dessers from getting on the end of that, and then McCausland is penalised for pulling Aaron Essel to the ground, and St Johnstone get a free kick just almost in line with the edge of their own penalty area. Simo Valakari, as I say, watching on in this main stand, and I'll be relatively happy with the first 6 minutes. Callum Davidson?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's obviously a little bit naive, obviously defending. You talked about Raskin dropping in. For me, it's the fullbacks. You're playing against the two strikers a little bit wide. The fullback's got to cover the centre half. If the ball's on the other side, you've got to get in. It's just it's talking about knowing your jobs and doing your jobs, and the understanding of the game.
Long from Sinclair, and Suter leaves it, and the flag I think went up for offside against Kimpioka anyway, but advantage being played to Rangers as Tavernier comes forward. He's across the halfway line, and he's got completely unchallenged here, James Tavernier. He's up towards the edge of the box, and he's fired one to the back post, and Essel's there to, I think he tried to flick that away outside the box, but it's come off his head and gone onto the roof of the net, so that'll be a Rangers corner. But Tavernier got so far there.
Yeah, Dakers to run into.
Yeah, that's
absolute unchallenged. It's quite incredible.
It's the system, isn't it? It's the system.
Get back to what you're saying, Callum, but Suter ain't going to get the cover from Tavernier. I've watched Rangers mostly this season. You know, his instincts are not to go back towards goal and defend. You know, the one thing he's got in his mind, and we saw it. You know, that's the best part of his game, getting himself forward. It's a decent ball, good defending from Essel.
Tavernier to take this corner with the right foot. He's curled it right to the back post, and Dessers makes the run, gets a clean header on it, and it skims the roof of the net. And
it shouldn't be skimming the roof of the net, it should be hitting the back of the net. Absolutely, Cal.
That's a brilliant chance, great ball by Tavernier. Yep. He's got free from his mark, and was he 6 yards out? He's got headed down, the ball's in the back of the net, and he puts it over. That was a fantastic chance for Rangers to open the scoring.
Yeah, it's a brilliant ball from Tavernier, and the thing is, Dessers, he sees it all the way. He's got a clear run at it. He's not really challenged. He's got to be heading that down. If he heads it down, it hits the back of the net. Simple as.
Jefte wins a header, and Dessers Dessers goes after it, but Aaron Essel takes it, and that's a good little dummy, and inside McCausland he goes, Aaron Essel, but Rangers recover it as the pass goes forward. Jefte just inside the St Johnstone half in front of Andy Kirk in the Saints dugout as his team win it back, and immediately they're looking for Kimpioka, and he's got such pace and he's going to get there. Right hand side, 6 or 7 yards in from the touchline. He needs support though. Gets it from Dre Wright now, who's not noticed Ross McCausland right on his shoulder, and he's given up possession a bit too easily there.
I think that's Kimpioka though. He's got to give him information. I think it's real part knowing your job, and he's done really well to get spin in the channel. I think St Johnstone have obviously worked on that. I think they know Rangers going to attack. I think it's on that transition that St Johnstone will try and hurt them.
Here's Matt Smith midway through the Rangers half, gives it to Dre Wright, goes with the early cross with the right foot, it's over everyone, then Tavernier gets a header on it at the back of the box, and it breaks for Diamondi in midfield. He's takes a touch, and again he's looking for Dessers, but Sanders reads it and it's too heavy anyway as it goes through to Ross Sinclair, the St Johnstone keeper, who gathers comfortably. And we've played 9 minutes at Ibrox, and it is Rangers 0, St Johnstone 0, live here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Sanders, the centre back, gives it to Spangler. Essel takes it in field, and not best pass for Sanders, who fires it forward, won by Proper initially, and then it's played in behind for Dre Wright to chase, and he's got real pace, but so does Jefte, who recovers really well, tries to prevent the corner, and he has, knocks it out for a throw in on this near side. Ranger.
It's interesting with St Johnstone, you know, we thought when we looked at the team lines, you know, would they get themselves forward, would they have a go, and you know, they certainly look capable. You know, Kimpioka up top was causing real problems with that pace, and you know, with Rangers fullbacks inclined to bomb forward, you know, they're going to try and kind of, you know, get themselves down the side of Rangers and try and, you know, carve out a chance if they can.
Throw into the feet of Kirk, he's battling, as is Essel. St Johnstone have it, it's Matt Smith going to go for a goal on the edge of the box, and it's dragged a good few yards wide in the end, but St Johnstone with an early sighter at goal.
Yeah, I'm talking about long throw-ins there, Derek. I think maybe if it was the long throw, they might have chucked one in there. It was actually a poor throw by Dre into young Kirk, and I think they got a wee snapshot from the edge of the box. But no, positive sign. I think St Johnstone have settled into the game well, and manager sitting up in the stand, we're quite happy with how it started.
And Andre Raymond, the wing-back, is right up trying to press Rangers in their own half. It's up to Dessers. That's a good little layoff for Czerny, who's just inside the Saints half, and then it's fired in behind. Diamondi's made the run, but Sinclair, the goalkeeper, gets there first.
That's a great chance, Derek. For me, it's a great movement, and the ball's in, but he's trying to play this fancy outside the foot pass. You know,
listen, you're absolutely banging the money. You know that it doesn't need to be the outside of the foot. You know, just a side foot pass, get the weight of the pass right, because Diamondi, he's timed his run absolutely spot on. So it's little moments like that that matter. You know, taking care of the pass. You know, we're talking a 20-30 yard pass, but
Kimpioka's after this one again, as Robin Proper has to deal with it, and he does, and then the flag goes up against Kimpioka, but he's got such pace.
Yeah, and you know something, Cal will tell us better. You know, when you see that Kimpioka with that pace and that power, so you would think Tavernier or Jefte at times has just got to sit off it a little bit, sit in at times, you know, and recognise that danger.
Here comes Czerny down the right hand side of the box for Rangers, shifts onto the left foot, crosses blocked by Nielsen and Sprangler.
I think it was a great chance from Czerny just to play it. Tavernier's made a brilliant run for him.
And here's Les Nielsen rampaging up to over the halfway line. He's having to play left centre half as a right footer due to Kyle Cameron's injury for St Johnstone.
Those little things there with Czerny, those little details, small details, are talking about the pass, and then there Tavernier's made a fantastic run. If he just side foots into him, Tavernier's then in the 18 yard box with giving Rangers a great opportunity to go and score.
I think, Calum, you can see a player that's just devoid of confidence at the moment. You know, he's not handled the crowd that well over the course of the last 2 or 3 weeks, and he's just struggling a little bit at the moment. It's clear to see.
John Souttar, the Rangers centre back, goes back to Jack Butland, who has not been tested so far. Matt Smith's shot from the edge of the box dragged wide. St Johnstone's only attempt, Dessers with an early header from a Tavernier corner that he should have done better with, skimmed the roof of the net. Those some of the chances in the opening 12.5 minutes at Ibrox. It's goalless as Essel wins the header over McCausland, goes back to Jefte, and Dre Wright's pursued him deep into the Rangers half, and he's trying to shimmy away from him, but he's not getting there, and then Mackenzie Kirk spots an opportunity to intercept a back pass, but he doesn't get there. Now Tavernier has it for Rangers. He's up over the halfway line, gives it to Czerny on the right hand side. Got Raymond in front of him, comes infield, and then again it's a poor pass, and the crowd don't like it because David Dickinson, the referee, was in the way there, and it's broken for McCausland on the edge of the box, and Esso goes to deck, breaks for Diamonde, and Sprangler gets across and forces the Rangers midfielder back out the left hand side of the box. McCausland round the back, and then his cross is blocked. It's up into the air. Sanders wins it, and then hooked away by Dre Wright. St Johnstone just a tad unconvincing for a moment there as McCausland was nearly in. Diamonde now midway through the Saints half feeds McCausland, who started brightly on this left hand side, gives it to Jefte right on the whitewash, and Essel has done really well, stayed on him and prodded it out for a throw-in. Goalless here as Raskan controls it on the thigh, gives it to Robin Proper on the halfway line, centre circle, turns back to face the left hand side and gives it to Jefte. Jefte down the touchline to McCausland, right past Dre Wright, takes him straight out the game. McCausland onto the right foot, floats it to the back post. Czerny's there, doesn't get on the end of it, and it'll go harmlessly away for a goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Rangers obviously they have to target the wide areas against St Johnstone. I think Dre Wright and Raymond on the other side, they're going to get exposed, and they're trying to force it there. McCausland's actually got the ball, and I think it was who was it that made the run? Great run to Pelly, but slide him in. It's really hard to defend against, and he's come back in, he's cut inside and played the ball with his right foot. It's a hard ball to put, it has to be so accurate. Just keep getting the ball in the box.
Jack Sanders has just passed one out the park which was intended for Dre Wright. Now here's Jefte.
They've just lost they've just lost their concentration a little bit at the moment, St Johnstone, and that's key when you come to places like this. You know, you've got to be on top of that concentration for every second, every minute of the game. If you don't, you can get quite easily punished.
And here come Rangers again. It's down the right, Diamonde into Tavernier, and it's central, 20 yards out, and Bayrami's twisting and weaving. He has to go backwards to Raskan, and then out wide to Diamonde, who's pulled out towards the right hand touchline. Czerny now looking for an option, knocks it back to Diamonde, moving towards the right hand corner of the box. Tavernier, and then Diamonde again. Rangers are in a probe for an opening, and Diamonde fires it to the back post. McCausland is round the back, but he got his head on it but couldn't control it, and it goes behind for a goal kick.
I think St Johnstone will get happy with those type of balls going in the box. You know, it's McCausland at the back post. If it's Dessers, it's a different story. I think it's that movement with Dessers and McCausland. McCausland maybe got to go inside the pitch, and then Dessers has to peel. I just think if Rangers are playing, they've just got to keep going down the sides. You keep working it and keep being patient, and gaps will open up. And St Johnstone have just got to make sure, you know, the two strikers don't just stay against the two centre halves and allow Rangers just to dictate the play.
St Johnstone are continuing to play out from the goalkeeper for goal kicks, and Rangers have had some joy pressing them as they have here, and they've got the ball back. It's gone backwards to Suter, centre circle along the grass, finds Tavernier. He moves it out towards the right hand touchline midway through the St Johnstone half, gives it to Czerny, has to run backwards to get away from Raymond, and then it's square for Proper. Rangers squeezing up into the St Johnstone half as they search for the opening goal. Czerny takes it in, and then it's worked to Diamonde. He's up to the edge of the box, goes down, and free kick given, bang in the middle of the goals, right in the edge of the D for Rangers. And Tavernier, I'm sure, will fancy this one.
They certainly will. What an opportunity this is, but you know, is it careless, Callum? You know, they're trying to play right through the middle of the park. You know, just that little D outside the box, and you know, Tavernier, you can go both sides. But I don't know. Just at times they just seem to just switch off. I don't know, Callum.
Yeah, it's just that concentration level. I think it's that first or second pass so important, because if they don't get it, the ball keeps coming back, and then they do it again, and they've given it away. St Johnstone probably last 3 or 4 minutes, giving away poor possession. I think that's the big thing, isn't it? And then once they win it back, Tavernier and Jefte are on all day for them.
See, even at times you watch players and then you start to read them. You kind of know where they're going to play it, and you're already on the move, you know, to intercept it, but they just seem a little bit slow in that respect.
Tavernier and Czerny are over it, but it's surely going to be the right foot of James Tavernier. It is Tavernier with the right foot, and it's splashed into the... I thought that had gone in.
I think it took a little deflection. It just comes off the back stanchion.
Deflection of one of St Johnstone defenders, yeah.
I think. It deflected in, and I was like, is that going to drop in? And then it looked just rolled out of the goal. But trick of the mind there.
That surely took a deflection, did it not?
Definite deflection. I saw it. It just there's a wee. I think it was either the wall.
Yep. Even from here, you could see it took a little nick that took it just over the bar and just hitting the back stanchion.
Well, it is 0-0. Tavernier with a low cross. Sanders there to clear it. Yeah, I think it cannoned off the stanchion and dropped just wide. Here's Diamonde.
Yeah, came off Nicky Clark's head, I think. Good defending, because it was a great and vital touch.
Here's McCausland coming in from the right hand side onto the right foot, low shot, blocked by Essel. It breaks from Mackenzie Kirk, and then Clark goes down, but no free kick given. Tierney gives it to Dessers, back to Bayrami, edge of the box, right foot, Tavernier corner of the area, cross headed away as he stooped by Jack Sanders, and then Clark goes down again, and this time he does get the free kick from Nedim Bayrami. I'm not sure if that was a high boot there or not.
It could have been a booking there. Normally 9 times out of 10 it would be a booking, but David Dickinson doesn't see it that way, so Bayrami's got away with that.
I think if asked St Johnstone to be brave in the ball, and I think sometimes they're brave in playing with not common sense. I think it's make sure you play in the right areas, and St Johnstone again guilty there of giving the ball away in a really poor area where Rangers could hurt them with 1 or 2 passes. I've been watching Jeffrey a little bit. He's covered in a little bit. Derek, he's covered in next to Proper to defend, but Tavernier, you're right. Tavernier's just going forward at every opportunity.
Headed up in there by Kirk, out by Proper, and Dre Wright heads it into the middle. Pitch Diamonde, gives it to Raskan, and Steve Clark, the Scotland manager, is in the house. Just flashed up on the big screen as Rangers play it forward to Václav Černý, right hand side of the box. Nielsen in front of him, left footed pass to Tavernier, edge of the area, tried to squeeze it to Bayrami. It's eventually come through to him, and he goes backwards to Raskan, forwards to Černý on the right wing, and then a little inside ball. That's nice for Bayrami, looks to roll that across. Sinclair's to deal with it, and then Diamonde slips in the box, and it's cleared by St Johnstone, and Mackenzie Kirk lays it to Nicky Clark, who's then fired it into open prairie for Trey Wright to chase, but Robin Proper got there comfortably and fired it forward to McCausland, who's tussling with Aaron Essel, and the Rangers winger has fouled the St Johnstone man according to the referee. Free kick, 0-0. We've played 20 minutes here at Ibrox in this Premiership encounter live on Sportsound.
I think that's 6 and half a dozen, little tussle. Essel's doing pretty well up against McCausland, but going back to that era, little moves, lovely little run from Bayrami, into the box, and hammers it hard and low. Keeper does well, falls to Diamande, but just losing his footing, not able to get a strike off at goal.
That's nice from St Johnstone. A little 1-2 with Raymond, and he's running towards the Rangers backline, and then he's tripped by Nico Raskan, and that could be a yellow card, but I don't think the referee is going to his pocket. No.
Good play by Raven, but probably too easy if you're the Rangers manager for him to step inside, play a 1-2, continue his run. Nobody near him. Good play from St Johnstone though.
He has impressed in his early days of his St Johnstone career. Andre Raymond, Trinidad and Tobago international, as it's played into the box fight. Kimpioka picks it up left hand side. He's moving towards goal, but Raskan stood his ground really well and made the tackle, and it's fired forward, and Dessers is trying to make a nuisance of himself up the other end, but Andre Raymond showed enough pace to get there and give it to his goalkeeper Ross Sinclair. But yeah, Raymond's not played a lot of first team football, been in Portugal at the start of his career, but he showed good flashes both offensively and defensively for St Johnstone early on in his career, as Lewis Nielsen goes on a run, and he's crossed the halfway line for St Johnstone, tries to feed Clark, but it's picked off by Jeffrey, gives it to McCausland over the halfway line. Essel's battling back, and has he fouled McCausland? He has, and Aaron Essel is going to go into the referee's notebook as the first player to do so this evening.
I don't know what he's complaining about. He actually did really well. He got back in and they just grabbed his shoulder and stopped him at a promising attack. So it's going to be a long 70 minutes for him, because he's St Johnstone asked him to go and play wide as well against McCausland. So he's going to have to deal with a lot of 1v1 situations through this game.
Well, he's a central midfielder who can play centre back, as opposed to a centre back who can play central midfielder. But with Kyle Cameron's injuries, come into the back line as Černý comes down the right for Rangers, left footed cross, and Sanders again ensures that Dessers can't get a strike on goal on the edge of the 6-yard box. Dessers where you'd want him to be though, but Sanders has defended well in that penalty area so far, as Černý gives it into Diamonde, running the box, and then he miscues it and then gives it to Bayrami, edge of the D, McCausland in the area. McCausland goes towards the byline, then low cross, touched by Tierney, shot blocked from close range, and it's away for a Rangers corner, still goalless. Sir Ibrox.
It's good pressure from Rangers. Diamondi, a little bit fortunate there. Ball breaks for him. I don't know what he was trying to do there, but McCausland just tries to get to the byline, just try to hammer it hard and low across that goal, and they're defending pretty well at the moment. St Johnstone, we're going 23 minutes, and still not conceded, and as well, they've certainly got that threat up top.
Tavernier's come across this near side. His last one was excellent, and Dessers should have scored. What can the Rangers captain produce from this corner, from the near side in front of us? And the referee David Dickinson is clearing something in the middle. He blows the whistle. Tavernier raises the arm, takes again. It's to that back post, and again Dessers is there. Johnstone gets something on it. Tierney controls in the box, gives it to Tavernier back out on this left-hand side. Goes back to Bayrami, who works onto the right foot, puts a shot in. It's blocked by Sprangler up in the air. Header from Sanders, controlled by Suter. Now Tavernier on the edge gets a strike, and Sinclair didn't move, but it was a good couple of yards past his right-hand post, and it remains Rangers 0, St Johnstone 0.
They keep asking the question. Rangers, they keep putting the ball into the box, and they've been a little bit unlucky. Maybe the ball's not broke from at certain times, but you've got to credit St Johnstone at the moment as well. They're scrambling about that 18-yard box, getting blocks in, and again, it was a terrific corner kick. You're thinking, should the keeper come out? But they're clever. They just get a little block on the keeper, so he's not able to come out and catch that ball.
Still goalless, Nicky Clark battling on halfway. That's a brilliant turn from Nicky Clark down the left-hand side. He's given it infield to Smith, but it's well read by Proper, who slides in and wins it for Rangers. And now they're moving forward by Rami. Slips it to Tierney, right-hand side. He's running towards the right corner of the box. Václav Tierney, he's in the box now, gives it low. Diamondi takes a touch in the penalty spot, swivels. What a block that is from Sanders as Diamondi fired the shot in. Really good defending from the St Johnstone centre-back. And then a free kick given away by Jeffrey on Mackenzie Kirk down in front of us. 0-0.
Yeah, it was a good counter-attack from Rangers. Nicky Clark actually did really well. I think it's Kim Pioka's actually the ball behind. He's trying to play it square. Rangers countered again. Again, that's probably the last 5-10 minutes. Rangers got into those areas really hard to defend against. He flashed the ball across, and Diamondi there's pretty unlucky. Again, credit to Sanders at the back. It was good defending. He blocks a shot from 10-12 yards out.
I think it's brilliant defending, because Diamondi, he's round about that penalty spot area, takes a touch, swivels round, gets a strike off, but Sanders, at full stretch, gets that block in. So important.
Kim Pioka's claiming for a foul there, but nothing given as play goes on, and then Dessers is given a free kick for some manhandling by Aaron Essel, who is on a yellow card. That's not a booking, but he needs to be careful. The young Ghanaian St Johnstone player here is Proper. He'll take the free kick, and Jeffrey on the left-hand side, and he's chipped it down the left touchline for McCausland to run onto. McCausland is beaten to it by Sanders, who's been a busy boy. And he knocks it out for a throw-in, and Rangers fans groaning because they want their team to get on with it. And McCausland leaves it for Jeffrey, throws it to Bayrami, gets it back. He's Jeffrey, the Brazilian, gives it to Bayrami, a couple of yards in from the paint on the left-hand side. As Jeffrey crosses with the left foot, again Sanders is there to head it away to Clark, and then Smith trying to keep the ball, and he chips it nicely onto the chest of Trey Wright, who is under a bit of pressure and has to just put it up into the night sky. Suter's header, and there's an offside flag gone up against Kim Pioka, and it will be a Rangers free kick. Goalless. We played 26.5 minutes at Ibrox.
That'll frustrate this Johnstone manager. That's 2 or 3 times he's been caught offside. He's got to work harder. Kim Pioka's actually got to work harder getting back on side for these situations. He makes runs behind, but then he's got to do the opposite. He's got to get back in.
Robin Proper with a lovely diagonal ball for Tierney, who controls it on the chest. Inside ball to Tavernier towards the edge of the box. Curling right footed delivery, and Sanders gets a flick on it. It's fallen to McCausland at the back post, who slips as it's forced behind by the Northern Irishman, and it's a goal kick to St Johnstone.
Again, it's brilliant defending from Sanders, because it's a wonderful ball from Tavernier, just coming in field, about 30 yards out. and as the ball's floating into that back post area, you just think that's right on Desser's head, but Sanders just gets enough on it, you know, to just divert it away. So brilliant defending again from the big centre back.
If you ask Sanders what's his biggest sort of attribute, it's probably defending the middle of the 6-yard box.
Here's Diamondi from distance, left foot, and it goes wide.
I think Sanders, if you asked him, just put the ball in the box and I'll defend it, I think what he probably struggled was the ball's fizzed across the floor, across the ground. You know, there's those little movement, but he's been absolutely brilliant so far defending those balls coming in the box.
Yeah, he's established himself at St Johnstone this season. He was at Kilmarnock before and played a part in their championship title win under Derek McInnes, but didn't have a tremendous amount of game time. He's had loan spells at Cove and Ayr as well, but seeming to step up, still just 25, so time to improve this season, and he's started well at Ibrox. It's Rangers looking for the breakthrough. 28 minutes played. It's John Souttar with it at the back. He takes it a couple of paces forwards, right-footed pass to Bayrami, playing in the number 10 position tonight in the absence of Tom Lawrence, who's been in fine goal-scoring form but injured himself on Thursday night in the act of scoring Rangers' only goal against Leon, and then Tavernier fizzes it into Dessers, who is awarded a free kick with Sanders closely marshalling him in the referee's eyes, pushing him to the deck. And this is fairly dangerous still with Tavernier over it, 25, 26, 27 yards out, and it's just to the right of the D, and he is capable from that distance, but also the cross is an option.
Yeah, I've seen him score goals from everywhere on the pitch. You know, he was actually ended up, I think in one of our games, he ended up at the back post. He was like a left winger attacking the back post, he was playing right back. I think this will be it's more like a crossing kind of area, Derek. I think it's.
You'd like to kind of move the ball just to create a better angle, you know, to get it in. You know, it looks. If it's got to be absolutely precise, you know, and it's so hard to get that whip in that direction on it.
Tavernier to take with the right foot, and he does go for goal, and it's well wide of the left-hand post, but he was trying to catch out the goalkeeper there, Callum. But
yeah, I think he was, but if you actually looked at the back area, I think it was Sanders and I think it was Sprangler or Matty Smith who was actually defending against the two big Rangers lads. It's probably a better option to actually go and put the ball in that area, you know. Johnson didn't really set up properly there to defend that, because he left obviously two big guys against one of the smaller ones.
I just like them Rangers to be a little bit more creative there, you know, because I think if that's just a cross into the box, it's pretty easy to defend against, although Tavernier goes for goal, but I would rather see the ball crossed into the box, but just a little bit more invention in their play.
Souttar at the back rolls it to his partner Robin Proper, establishing a bit of a pairing there for Rangers, bit of consistency. And as Tierney receives on the right touchline into Diamondi, who's 30 yards out, gives it to Bayrami, slips it to Tierney on the right hand side of the box. He's fired it across goal, and McCausland was rising at the back post but came at him quickly, and it cannoned off his head in a way. He's regathered it, gives it backwards to Diamondi on the left hand side, then infield to Proper, back out to Diamondi for Jefte, as Rangers still try and keep the pressure on. McCausland back on the right foot, pass short to Jefte, little goal from Jefte, gets a break of the ball, but then Essel tackles, Dre Wright goes down, free kick, 31 minutes on the clock. Rangers nil, St Johnstone nil.
Yeah, good move, good interchange there. Got Tierney in the back, sort of back area, their right hand side. I actually think if he puts the ball along the floor, I think Tavernier's right in the front post, standing all alone. But it's again good movement by Rangers. They were patient, and then they quicken the play up and they get in behind St Johnstone again.
You're listening to Sports Sound live on BBC Radio Scotland. Sunday night Premiership football at Ibrox between Rangers and St Johnstone in the first half, where it remains goalless as it skims off the head of a St Johnstone player in the Rangers half, and the home side get the throw in. And here's Proper, who has started to look a bit more assured in that Rangers defence in recent times, although a tough night for everyone associated with Rangers on Thursday. The quality Leon had was something to behold, certainly going forward anyways. The big diagonal switch comes looking for McCausland, but that's going to go away from the Northern Ireland international. St Johnstone will have the throw-in, but they will be sort of pinned in towards their own corner flag. And just interesting, Callum, St Johnstone are really trying to play out, but they do keep getting caught quite a lot, and I just wonder if they don't seem to be looking for Kimpioka as much as they were.
I don't think they've actually been high enough up the pitch, really. I think probably the last 15-20 minutes has been mostly Rangers in the attacking half. I don't think St Johnstone have actually passed it to actually get there. I think if they do get that pass, they might release Kimpioka. I think Rangers have sorted it a little bit with their back line, not to leave Suter 1v1. So a little bit better on the defensive side, but Rangers is sort of negated sort of St Johnstone's attack at the moment.
Here's John Suter, passes it forward over the halfway line to James Tavernier again. He's got loads of space in that middle of the pitch area, and he's coming forward towards the right corner of the box, unchallenged. Gives it to Czerny. Czerny into Tavernier in the area, who's dispossessed, and then Smith's back headers away to Raskan, square to Czerny, onto the left foot, thinks about the shot, chops the back on the right foot, and by that time Smith had recovered and makes the block. There's a chance to perhaps shoot on the left there, but Czerny gets it back and he's danced away from on. He's up to Ledgeworth. This time he shoots on the left foot, and this time he tucks it into the bottom corner. Wonderful finish from Václav Czerny. That bit of quality Rangers were desperately needing, and it gives them the lead. Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
Yeah, he certainly needed that. We spoke about him earlier in the game. You know, he was looking a little bit lost at times, you know, lack of confidence. That'll do his confidence a world of good. You know, he's been criticised for coming inside, but scored a pretty similar goal against Motherwell. You know, just allowed to get his head up, pick his spot, and he does it ever so well. You know, the keeper's absolutely no chance. I was just going to go back to that area because that area of the park where Czerny, Tavernier, you know, they don't engage with them quick enough. St Johnstone, they're very slow to get out of them, but they paid the price there. Fantastic goal.
Yeah, wonderful goal. It's that right hand side that's causing St Johnstone problems. Kimpioka's gone out, standing there, and he's just allowing the ball past him. Tavernier keeps running, and yet Tavernier's actually dictating the game, isn't he? It's a wonderful bit of skill though by the Rangers number 18. I think he's a bit fortunate to get past the player, and then once he's got past him, you know, he's flipped it in the bottom corner. That'll do his confidence a world of good. You know, you might see a little bit more flair now from him with that goal.
Yes, just his second Rangers goal, second in the Premiership. The other one coming at Hampden against Motherwell some time ago now. And referee's stop play here. Is it a foul on for St Johnstone? It is in their own half, as Essel goes square to Sanders with a free kick. Then Nielsen, Nielsen, he's not got a pass on as he's pressed by Czerny. Has to go back to Sinclair, who goes long. Kimpioka, Mackenzie Kirk goes up, doesn't win the header, and then it's gone in behind the St Johnstone defence. Essel goes back towards his own goal. He doesn't have the support. He feels the contact from Ross McCausland and goes down, and it's a cheap foul to give away from Ross McCausland because Essel was in trouble there.
Yeah, he was actually just waiting for him to touch him, isn't he? That's when you've just got to stay there. He's actually in trouble. He's pressed him well, but just don't go near him.
But again, with forwards, they must know that. You know, as soon as a fullback or a defender feels contact, they're only going one place. That's on the deck. So you've just got to kind of stand your ground. Don't make that contact. Keep them facing away from goal. You know, put the pressure on. I don't know if you noticed, Callum. You know that Czerny right over to the manager. The little cuddle, a little bit together, a little bit of loving going on there.
I need to ask some of my players, where's that for me? I think that's probably obviously. I think sometimes the player's going through a hard time and the manager supports you. Yeah. It's a massive thing for a player.
Here's Czerny looking for the run of Dessers. He was in the centre circle, and Dessers again. He's made that run all day. Not really found him thus far though, Rangers.
Kind of shows good management skills as well from Philip Clement. Again, he's stuck by him. You know, there's things to tell him to take him out of the team, but he's stuck by him, and you know, Czerny be delighted he's got that goal.
And Rangers come forward again as Raymond caught in possession again from St Johnstone. They're guilty of giving it away in their own half, and Rangers have turned it back. Diamonde right inside of the box, cross block behind for a corner. 1-0 Rangers, 37 minutes on the clock.
I'd actually like to see St Johnstone just sometimes first pass, just turn them, try and get the pitch, try and put them under a wee more pressure, better quality balls up there. They are trying to play their way through Rangers, but at the moment they're not good enough to do that. I've been watching Rangers, they're actually high pressing them, they're actually going man for man everywhere. It's actually quite hard for St Johnstone then to get out.
Rangers corner on the far side, and Czerney's going to take this one, and he curls it into the near post with the left foot. Lewis Nielsen heads it to the edge of the area. Bayrami on the volley, and it goes into the ground and skips wide of the target. 1-0 Rangers as we get into the final 8 minutes plus whatever may be added at the end of this first period.
Bayrami's not shy when it comes to having a hit at goals. Doesn't quite catch that one on the volley. Always a difficult skill, just hitting the ball into the ground, but you know, if he gets the opportunity, he'll certainly take it. It just shows you that, looking at Czerney, he certainly needed that goal. Seems quite an emotional guy. You know, obviously the players get round about him, but he made a beeline straight for the manager right away as soon as the players had left him alone. So I get where Callum's coming for good management, but it just shows you the emotion that sometimes we don't maybe recognise. You know, being Scottish, it's something that we probably don't tap into too much.
Diamonde.
What's a cuddle?
Well, he certainly got it, and it's played in behind by St Johnstone for Mackenzie Clark. Cropper goes down, and the free kick is given. Mackenzie Clark didn't get there in the end anyway, ahead of Jack Butland, but St Johnstone trying to again turn Rangers, as Callum suggested, might be a sensible strategy, because they've found it really hard to get through Rangers' pressure from their own half.
A really important time for St Johnstone. They can't concede. You know, I think they've got 7 minutes before half time. They can't concede. A really important time in the game, because if they do concede, it's virtually game over. If they get into 1-0 now at half time, then they've got a wee chance. They can regroup, they can discuss a few things, try and reorganise. Big 7 minutes for both teams.
Here's Cropper. He's in St Johnstone territory, and he goes backwards about 10 yards to Suter, and Suter fires it forward for Czerney in that little half space in from the right that Tavernier and him have just popped up so much, and a little give and go, and if it wasn't for a challenge from Smith, he would have got back on that, but it goes through to the goalkeeper.
Has Czerney played as a 10 this year for Rangers?
No.
Because Lucy's got that ability, that drop the shoulder, he's got the wee shift. You know, he doesn't have obviously blistering pace, where Bayrami looks like he's a good runner. You know, it'd be interesting actually to see him in there.
Yeah, he's never been deployed in there, but that's the one thing. He's actually been criticised because he wants to come in the park. He's not, right. As you're saying, Callum, maybe not get that kind of change of pace, you know, to get to the byline. But sometimes you just got to kind of.
And it's Dessers in behind. McCausland fired it forward, but Sinclair was prompt off his goal line and beat the Rangers striker to it, and now Lewis Nielsen is striding it from a back, as he loves to do it, and he tries to put it into Mackenzie Kirk's path, but it's picked off by Rangers. Now Diamonde passes it through the lines nicely to Bayrami. He's got quite a few of the maroon and white striped shirts in front of him that are St Johnstone are donning this evening, and that's a poor pass straight at the park.
It was never on, so I think he's looking for. I don't know why he's waving at McCausland. I think in that situation he's an experienced player. You know, he's going up an alleyway, there's nowhere to go, just come out, you know, and then play it back, simple, start again. But I just think he's trying to force it too much there.
I don't like to see that though. He's waving his hands at young McCausland, because it's the wrong pass by him. You know, so don't try and blame somebody else for your pass.
And fair play to McCausland, because he tries to give him an option. You know, and you know, it was never on.
Here's Tavernier again picking up that space, almost another central midfielder for Rangers, as he goes outside to the edge of the box now. Back to Czerney, the goal scorer. Czerney goes down the right hand side trying to get away from Raymond, but Raymond shows good pace, gives it to Tavernier, and to Diamonde, edge of the area. And back to Tavernier. Rangers have to go back towards their own goal as Raskin gives it to Diamonde now. Czerney knocks it to Diamonde in from the right hand side, and then it's a poor pass. It doesn't reach Raskin, but Jefte has recovered it. Now Raskin in the centre circle, forward pass to Diamonde. It's a poor touch, and it's knocked to Mackenzie Clark, who tried to make the return to Nicky Clark, and it's intercepted. And Tavernier now stabs it into the box. Dessers, who's got Sanders for company. Dessers with a little back heel, but it can't find Bayrami, and St Johnstone clear down the other end, and Kirk wants a foul from Cropper, but it's never a free kick, and Rangers centre half fizzes it to McCausland on the left hand side, comes into the left hand corner of the box, and he's curled a shot, but it's not started outside the post like he probably intended, and it's gone straight to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, that was a real moment for St Johnstone, just to turn them again. They haven't done it. I think it was young Kirk, he gave the ball away. They've actually won it back, just flip it over the top every now and again, make Suter chase back to his own goal. They give it away, and then they're under pressure again.
Again, St Johnstone go short, and Essel with an unsure, unsteady touch, and then it's inside to Sanders. Quite an awkward pass, but he does well to control it. And then to Essel, who lofts it down the touchline. Jefty's header inside the field to Raskan, who runs across the centre circle and gives it to Czerny. Czerny on the right hand side, now inside to Tavernier. And the pass was either intended for Dessers or Diamondi, but it was between the pair of them. And now Kimpioka for St Johnstone over the halfway line. He's going to run Suter. He's got pace, but Suter has good legs as well, and he gets back. Kimpioka still has it though, comes in the field, he's looking for support. He doesn't give it to any of the teammates near him. He rolls it with the studs, but he's got an awful lot of time. And it's back to Sanders, who's under pressure from Dessers, and St Johnstone under pressure here. Dessers gives away the free kick. And St Johnstone were in a promising position there, and they've managed to go back towards their own goal and sort of waste it.
Yeah, and I think they've been guilty of that. I mean, you've said often enough, you know, that at times they've tried to overplay. There is an out ball there, and at times players have got to recognise when there is a 1v1, you know, and sometimes it's just hitting the grass in behind and letting that pace and power of Kimpioka get onto it. But they've not utilised it enough tonight. They've paid the price, you know, obviously a goal down. But I mean, if you're Tavernier and Czerny down that right hand side, you know, they've had the freedom of the park. It was just interesting watching the reaction there when Rangers did lose the ball. You know, Tavernier, you know, the one criticism I have got, he doesn't react to when they lose the ball. His reaction to get back and defend is virtually zero, in my opinion. You know, so but he's enjoying himself tonight. He's mainly been on the ball. He's playing as a midfielder, basically. He's not playing as a defender.
It's one of those games of fullback you just love.
Yeah,
because you're not doing anything defensively. You're actually just attacking all the time. It's one of those great games you have every now and again.
Yeah, it's right down the street, Cal.
Forward for St Johnstone, Proper sends it back, and then Sanders returns it with interest, and it's an awkward one for Suter, but he does really well as it went right into the Glasgow sky, and it's headed forward by Sprangler. Raskan into the turf, and then it's played to Tavernier. Czerny first time lays it to Bayrami. That was a good little pass right hand side for Rangers. Midway through the St Johnstone half, Czerny inside ball to Bayrami, and then Tavernier into the box, but can't gather it, and Raymond will prevent the corner as well, and fires it up to Kimpioka, knocks it to Clark, who has got the break of the ball here, Nicky Clark, and then gives it to Kimpioka, who is dispossessed brilliantly in the middle of the pitch by Proper. Tavernier, Czerny, Rangers fans wanted their team to go forward quicker there, and then it's given away to Mackenzie Kirk, who knocks it the other side of Jefty. He's going forward, Jefty's recovered well, and then Kirk goes from distance, but it flies well wide of Butland's left-hand post, and it's Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
Yeah, nice and positive from Mackenzie Kirk there. I think Rangers fans are going nuts there because they've won the ball back. They've kept going into the same area again, 2 or 3 passes, but it was such a play, and they actually get caught in the ball by being a little bit too slow. And, you know, Mackenzie Kirk, all credit to him, he's had a go. He's had a shot, a speculative shot from a distance. But again, a little bit better from St Johnstone in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
1 extra minute to be played at the end of this half, and we've already played 10 seconds of it, so Rangers 1-0 up, courtesy of Václav Czerny. Tavernier with it in his own half here, plays it up the right hand touchline to Czerny, in the field to Raskan. St Johnstone trying to pinch the ball, but Rangers keeping it. Diamondi turns well, it's in his own half, goes back to Proper, and then lays it to Jack Butland. The goalkeeper takes a touch and then leathers it with the left foot up over the halfway line. Bayrami's flicked header, and Dessers trying to spin in behind. It's on, it almost breaks for him, and Sinclair has to mop up the goalkeeper because Lewis Nielsen hesitated and almost allowed Dessers straight through on goal there. And now it's Proper, passes it to Jefty. Jefty passes it back to Proper, then Raskan, and there is the half-time whistle, and Rangers have the lead at the break. They've not peppered the St Johnstone goal by any means, but they have been by far the dominant side. Dessers had an early chance which skimmed the roof of the net. Tavernier had a couple of attempts, 2 from a free kick, and it was a moment of quality that eventually got them the lead on 34 minutes. Václav Czerny coming in from the right hand side onto his left foot, didn't snatch at it, didn't smash it, just almost passed it, curled it with the left foot low into the bottom corner beyond Ross Sinclair, and Rangers on course to close the gap to Aberdeen and Celtic at the top to 5 points, because at Ibrox at the break it is Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
Rangers versus St Johnstone. Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
In a gripping new podcast, you have a front row seat to justice.
It's like a movie, you know, it has to have a big start.
With unprecedented access to the courtroom.
That was just a comment I made.
Well, there must have been something meant by it, because you said it.
We unpack the evidence to a mystery which haunted the Highlands for nearly half a century.
She realises that his job is to persuade the jury to convict her husband of murder.
And explain the inner workings of the Scottish justice system.
They can decide to convict or they can decide to acquit.
Inside Murder Trial, a deadly affair. Listen now on BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon. Been a long day as we have brought you coverage from the Highlands to Pittodrie and now from Govan in Glasgow. Rangers 1-0 up at half-time against St Johnstone, thanks to Cherney's goal in the SWPL this afternoon. There was a 5-0 win for Glasgow City against Aberdeen. Hibernian put 5 past Montrose, 5-1. It finished in that one. Rangers 2-0 against Motherwell. Spartans won 2-1 away to Dundee United. And Hearts were 3-0 winners against Partick Thistle. So Rangers 1 point clear of Glasgow City at the top. Hearts move up into third, with Celtic in fourth right now and 5 points off the top, but with a game in hand. They, of course, involved in European action in the week ahead. Tuesday night, the Women's Champions League, they open their group campaign against 20. There'll be live online commentary of that. BBC Scotland website, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. The SWPL highlights Monday night at 7. The sports scene highlights tonight at 10:30 in the BBC Scotland channel. You'll get the best of the action from the games yesterday at Dens Park, Easter Road and in Paisley. And you get more extended highlights of today's games. Celtic's 2-1 win against Ross County. Aberdeen, a thrilling 3-2 success against Hearts. A real topsy-turvy game, that one. You'll also get the best of the action from Ibrox, where I think it's fair to say, Derek, that it hasn't been a classic, but it's been a pretty one-sided affair thus far in terms of Rangers being dominant.
Yeah, you look at St John's, I think at times they've overplayed a little bit. When you look what they've got up top, you know, in terms of Kim Pioka, I think at times they could have turned the Rangers defence, even balls into the corner, just to get themselves up. They haven't done that. They've chose to try and play through the lines, little 10-15 yard passes, and they've been caught out at times, and it's been kind of wave after wave of attack. Although in saying that, you know, there's been a little kind of lack of quality in terms of Rangers finding a way towards goal, but they certainly did with Cherney, who was a bit kind of ropey for a period of time, but that goal will do him the world of good. He certainly needed that. It was interesting when Callum turned round and says, you know, could he play maybe in a number 10 role?
Yeah.
It was really interesting, because when you look at him, and Callum said that he isn't blessed with that blistering pace, and he always tends to come inside. He always looks for those little give and goes. So it's something maybe the manager should maybe look at. But when he was allowed that time just to drift in, get his head up, you know, this time he picked his spot, and the keeper had no chance. So certainly Rangers needed that, because they kind of huffed and puffed a little bit. That hasn't been the easiest on the eye, but I think certainly St Johnstone have played into their hands. I mean, Tavernier, you know, down that right hand side, he's the freedom of the park, you know, the amount of time, and he's been running with the ball 30-40 yards unopposed. If you do that, there's only going to be one result, because at one point in the game he's going to pick out somebody. So St Johnstone have been okay defensively, but they've got to carry more of a threat, and that threat is sometimes just going a little bit longer.
Yeah, we talked beforehand, didn't we, Callum, about the fact that the lineup that Andy Kirk had chosen did have the potential to be an attacking one with Clark and Kimpioka and Kirk, but it's been a pretty isolated 45 minutes in terms of anyone up front, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's my argument, if you're playing two up front, you need to get the ball up to them pretty quickly. Rangers are obviously gone 2-for-2 at the back. Derek's just talked about it there. They've actually given away in their own half. They're trying to play, they're trying to be brave, but if you're playing the two up front, you don't overload the midfield. you've got 2 in there, so you're getting overrun in there as well. So that little thing for me, can they get the ball forward a little bit earlier, a little bit quicker, because Kimpioko's actually doing well when he does it, and young Mackenzie Kirk's doing really well as well, so they're actually causing Rangers a few wee problems, but they just need to get there more often. My biggest concern is I've actually quite enjoyed the game. I've quite enjoyed it tactically, the 2 different formations, and I think for me St Johnstone have to sort of press better. They've got to stop Tavernier getting easy ball. I think he might still get it, but I think it's for me is the front 2 have got to play a wee bit wider outside the 2 centre halves and try and force Rangers 1 or 2 passes to get there rather than buttling through it to him. And he ran up the pitch to the edge of the 18, then put a cross in, and Rangers nearly scored. So those little things, those little tweaks might help St Johnstone. I think Rangers have got better and better as the game's gone on, gone to those dangerous areas where it's very hard to defend against, and they're probing. And I think obviously it's always the same here. This next goal in the second half is going to be so important for either team. If St Johnstone gets it, it becomes an interesting game, and obviously Rangers get it, it's probably game over.
The goal itself, Callum, that was the outstanding piece of quality in the first 45 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there hasn't been too much quality. The delivery in the box, Tavernier's had a few, but that was the one moment of quality. He's got a fantastic left foot, you can see that. With confidence he'll get even better, but again it was a real bit of quality, and Ross Sinclair in the St Johnstone goal stood no chance, but I think when Derek was talking about it, he was talking about there wasn't enough pressure on the Rangers players out there from St Johnstone, but yeah, that was the one bit of quality we've seen from Cherny.
It's actually a nice bit of skill. Initially he nutmegged Sprangler and then just stepped away from him, looked up, and he takes a couple of touches. And he actually he passes it. It's one of those where, there's a little bit of pace on it, but essentially he passes it round the defenders, uses them as a shield, and it curls in.
Always looks better when it's the left footer, doesn't it?
Oh yeah,
a little bit more quality.
It's something funny that Derek, do you ever use your left foot?
No, just for standing on, I'm afraid. I'd maybe try to kick somebody. That would be
sounds
it. But it's interesting what Callum's saying, because Tavernier, hasn't played full back tonight. He's playing as a midfielder. He's got the freedom. He's running 20, 30 yards. He's allowed to get his head up. So they've got to engage. St Johnstone have got to engage with him certainly quicker. That's one thing they've got to try and sort out. And it's as simple as it is, Richard. And I know it's ingrained in players. They always want to play nice football. But sometimes, when you've got players, two forwards up top, just put it over the top, because all it takes is a slip from a defender or a mistake, a misjudgment, and then you're in. But they've not took that chance. I think St Johnstone have got to gamble a little bit more, because if they don't, there's going to be one outcome. I think Rangers will get their second and could go on to score 2 or 3 more as well, if they don't kind of change their tactics a little bit.
They might actually have had 2 or 3. There was the Tavernier free kick, which delightfully confused Thomas in commentary. I can understand why, because it hits the...
Not really from our angle. I thought it was well wide.
The problem is it hits that back upright and then the stanchion, and then it comes down and ripples along the back of the net on the other side of the net, if you like. It took a clip off Nicky Clark's head, which was probably... decisive in actual fact, and somehow the officials between them missed it. There was a tug on Dessers at the back post. Essel, I think it was, who had got in there, and there's a clear pulling the shirt.
Was it the Dessers shirt go up the way? I saw that. I didn't actually mention.
He pulled it.
It
I'm surprised that VR didn't have a look at that, because Dessers is trying to get to the ball, and it's in that area, and he's certainly impeded and pulled away from the ball by the defender pulling in his shirt. Yeah, that one has somehow slipped through the cracks. But Dessers should have scored right at the start, Derek. 8th minutes. Magnificent corner from Tavernier. Poor defending, you would say, I guess, but he's free. He's 5 yards out, and he puts it over the bar. Yeah,
it's a brilliant delivery from Tavernier. His deliveries tonight have been bang on the money. And the thing is, from where the angle we've got, Dessers, he sees it all the way, and he gets him. He's up early as well, so we all know as a centre forward, or anybody, going to attack the ball with the head going towards goal, could head the ball down. If he heads it down, it's in the back of the net. So, but it's Dessers. It's what we've come to expect. here at Ibrox. I actually call him Marmite. You either love or hate him at times, but it's just the way he is. You know, sometimes he can do things that you think, wow, that was different class, and then sometimes I was going to say you're pulling the hair out your head, but I've not got any. I need to be pulling Callum's, but it's just the way it is. But yeah, it should have done better with that opportunity.
As a manager, Callum, do you just simply have to accept that he is just one of those players? He misses lots of chances, but let's be honest, he scores plenty as well. Yeah,
do you know what? I quite like him. He actually leads the line really well as a lone striker. He doesn't look like he could play with a partnership, but what he does, he actually leads the line well. He uses his body well. And I think on the counter attack, I think he'd be quite a good striker to have, because he actually gets his body in the way. You know, he causes problems for other teams. When he plays for Rangers, he's going to get loads of chances. You know, and that's probably the only criticism you'll have of him. He doesn't take probably the easy chances. You know, the games I've watched, he gets 2 or 3 really easy chances, doesn't score, then he maybe scores the hard one. Like that header there, that should be bread and butter for him. That is the one he should just be chalking up the goals with headers like that. But you know, I think he's been okay. He's getting better. You know, it's the pressure of being that Rangers number 9. It's a big shirt to fill. You know, and Rangers fans expect when you're in there, you've got to score, what, 20-25 goals or more a season.
Do you think St Johnstone kind of almost sign up right now for this getting no worse, and then maybe if they can keep it at 1 later on in the game?
I don't know. It's a difficult one, because I think that with the 2 strikers they're playing, I think they've got to try and ask questions of Rangers backline, because as you know, Tavernier's obviously enjoying the game going forward, so there's the space. So that's the space they've got to exploit. I think Sheffield on the other side, he's actually tucked in a little bit better on this side. So Souttar's really playing 1v1 against Kimpioka. So that's where your space is. A little bit frustrating in the end. Kimpioka actually makes a good run. I think it's in the 43rd minute. He cuts inside, and St Johnstone have actually got 3 or 4 bodies in the box, and he ends up goes back to centre half. That's when they need to put the ball in the box. You know, you don't get opportunities here that often to do it. You've got to make them defend. You've got to try and ask more questions. I think Andy will be in there saying, right, can we get the ball forward a little bit quicker? Can we ask a few more questions of them? And then just that press for me. The press is always a big one when you come to a place like this. And at the moment, it's just not quite right. You know, they've gone the attacking option with their strikers. They just need to do a little bit better when they don't have the ball.
Derek Diamande and Raskan in the heart of the midfield for Rangers this evening. How's that worked out for you?
I would certainly prefer Barron in there. I think Raskan is trying to please the manager. I think he frustrates the manager. I'm not too sure what the reasons are, to be honest with you, but he was hooked in one of the games at half-time, Raskin and McCausland, and he said that he wasn't doing the job that he was asked to do. I just think when you see Barron in there, you know, with that energy, with that precise passing, you know, and he does everything with authority, and you know, then that starts to feed through the team. So Raskin, he's been okay. He's really
done some decent things, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, you would expect that, because those decent things, he's never really under too much pressure.
No.
But that's what I like about Barron. That's how I'm going to keep going back to him, because when he gets it, he doesn't amble onto the ball. Barron is onto it. Touch play, he quickens everything up, and that's what Rangers need to do when you're up against opposition like St Johnstone, who are going to sit in a little bit. You've got to play quicker. You've got to play 1 and 2 touch in the final third, and I think he sets the tone, Barron. So Raskin has been okay. We know he's a decent player, but he's not had enough game time. Diamande, you know, he flirts in and out of the game. He's one of those players you're looking for a little bit more. He's certainly a box-to-box player, but I think if you were given a kind of mark out of 10, both of them, a 6 out of 10 at the moment, Richard.
He's a hard man to please, isn't he, Richard? He's a hard man to please.
He certainly is.
I've actually quite enjoyed Raskin. I've watched him obviously with the conversation we had at the start. I think Raskin's actually done quite well on the defensive side. He's actually been the one, I think Derek alluded to at the start, he might have to drop in. I thought he's actually helped his 2 centre-halves, or his 1 centre-half at the time. You know, I think he's done that job really well. I know what Derek's saying by Barron sharp onto everything, but I think Raskin, you know, I think he's trying to dictate the pace of the game for Rangers as well. So, you know, it's not a bad performance, you know, and I think, you know, if Rangers come out with a result, it'll be a good decision to rest Barron. If they don't get the result, it'll be a poor decision to rest Barron. That is basically the bottom line, isn't it? So
I mean, I guess inevitably it'll be round about the hour mark, won't it? And then Philippe Clement will look at it then, and if it's still 1-0 and Rangers not showing much sign of adding to it, he may think to change at that point?
I think if he's got the changes he trusts to make, you know, on the attacking side, you know, there's a few players there, so yeah, you might see a few changes, or he might just keep it going. Sometimes the manager, if things are going okay, you know, and they keep probing away, they're getting chances, he sometimes upset the flow by making changes, you know, when you're doing okay in the game. So it'll be an interesting one to see what happens the first 15 minutes of this half.
Richard, what I would love to see is the introduction of Hadji, you know, because he's
that would get the fans going as well, wouldn't it?
And sometimes you just need that, you know, they're going through the motions, but we have got a change. I think Thomas is going to tell us.
Yeah, Conor Barron's coming on, as is Giannis
Derek will
Hadji.
be pleased.
As is Giannis Hadji, yeah, indeed. Couple of changes for Rangers, a couple of changes for St Johnstone as well. Cammy McPherson is coming on, and I think Adama Sidibe was warming up certainly, but I think it's going to be McPherson the only change.
Well, I tell you, I'll give you just a moment or two, because I know it's a bit of a nightmare when you're commentating and you've got 4 changes to try to sort out at the interval, but it is Hadji and Barron coming on for Rangers. McCausland's certainly one of those players going off for the home side, but Thomas will be right the way through all the paperwork. He'll sort it all out. Cammy McPherson coming on as well, a player who of course has had big injury issues, but certainly very promising, and he will be keen to get out there and to show what he can do this evening. Sidibe also coming on. So the team's about to get up and running for the second half. Live commentary here on Sportsound with Derek Ferguson, with Callum and with Thomas.
Yeah, thanks Richard. So it's Sven Sprangler who's gone off for Cammy McPherson for Rangers, and McCausland and Diamande have gone off for Rangers for Hadji and Barron. So both managers not fully content, you would maybe have to say. Here's Giannis Hadji, and he gets a warm applause. His first touch, not played for a long time for Rangers without contractual dispute. August 2023, over a year ago against Morton in the League Cup, his last appearance, and he's made the return here after that exile where he was in the B team. And here Cherney in for Barron, who tries to put the pass into Cherney, but Raymond and St Johnstone recover as McPherson gets his first touch and fires it to Kimpioka, and Kimpioka to Raymond. Touch is poor and Tavernier gets it, and then Raskin away from McPherson. That's brilliant from Raskin, and he slipped in Cherney in the box. Touch isn't great, but he still retrieves it just before the byline. Cherney back to Tavernier, who crosses first time to the back post. It's over Dessers, and Essel pops it behind for a corner kick. Rangers on the front foot.
Real attacking changes from St Johnstone. Actually got 4 strikers on the pitch. They put Mackenzie Kirk wide right, they put Kimpioka wide left, they put Sidibe through the middle, and Nicky Clark in behind. So 4, as you would probably say, strikers rather than forward players. So there's going to be a few gaps. Could be quite entertaining second half.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lively start from Rangers anyway. Down that right hand side, Barron was pressing, and Tavernier's gone across to take this corner. He's ready to go, and it's curled in to the 6-yard box and headed away, and there's a foul in that 6-yard box against Rangers, and it will be St Johnstone free kick. But yeah, interesting, Derek. You wanted Conor Barron, and he's on. So what is it the manager is looking for in making that change?
Do you know something? I think what plays a big part in it, you know, he always refers to the medical side, the sports science. I think that dictates a lot of his decisions.
Minutes they play and levels like that, yeah.
But on the other hand, you know, I'm really surprised with St Johnstone. You know, they're really throwing the dice here tonight, because this could go one of 2 ways. You know, I think it's a huge gamble so early on. Sometimes you wait, you know, 25-30 minutes, you know, to go, but St Johnstone are going to certainly go for it with the 4 strikers they've got on the park at the moment.
Yeah, Jefte down the left for Rangers, in the field to Hadji, back out to Jefte, and then Jefte darting in towards the edge of the box. Little pass through for Conor Barron, who gets there, has to turn away from goal to hold off Raymond. Now it's Tavernier, and it's with Bayrami back to Raskin and Hadji. Rangers forced back outside the area. Barron right foot across the pitch towards the right hand side, gives it to Suter. Suter square for Proper, and Rangers will start again, squeezing up everyone bar the goalkeeper in the St Johnstone half. They lead by a goal to nil, 3.5 minutes into the second half, and Raskan asking for some movement from his teammates, gives it to Proper. Now Raskan, right foot along the deck to Suter, just in the Saints half, gives it to Czerny. He's one-on-one with Raymond, he's driven in the field again, pops it to Raskan, and now Proper. It was Dre Wright that departed for Sidibe, incidentally for St Johnstone, and it's now Rangers down the left-hand side through Jefte, sliding challenge. Does that come back off? Jefte's kept it in anyway, right on the byline. He's dancing to generate some room, gives it to Bayrami. He's going back towards his own goal, then slides it into Hadji on the edge of the area, and Yanis Hadji weaves at the left corner of the box, goes back to Raskan, and then Jefte, and it's picked off by Clark for St Johnstone, and then they go up the right touchline, but Sidibe can't get there, and it's back with Rangers and Connor Barron midway through the St Johnstone half.
I'm actually fascinated to see how St Johnstone gone here. It's a real brave move by the manager, to see what they can do in the game. He's obviously thought, well, we're 1-0 down, let's have a go. So, but it's really brave, and actually I'm actually quite looking forward to the second half.
Could be either brave or stupid.
We shall see, as Hadji again tries to break some space, and Rangers have it. Suter in the centre circle, and a good pass along the grass to Czerny. Goes past Kimpioka, he's dinked into the front post, but Nielsen was there to head away. And Barron picks up the seconds, he's into the box, and he ran it too far in front of himself and loses it, but Rangers have it back straight away. Czerny right hand side the box to Tavernier. Tavernier across the edge of the area to Bayrami. Bayrami chips it in to Tavernier, he's made the run, but it skips away from the Rangers captain, and behind for a St Johnstone goal kick. It's Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
Yeah, I thought Tavernier could have maybe went for that there. I thought it was a wonderful little chip ball. What's interesting in Barron, normally he sits in beside Proper and Suter, but playing a more advanced role, a little bit further up the park, so and he could do that pretty comfortably as well. So he maybe allowed to go and enjoy himself, a little bit more freedom in his play, a little bit further forward. So he is a good striker of the ball as well, Connor Barron. So he's got 45 minutes to show us what he's all about.
It looks like the Rangers going like 4-3-3. Raskin said, I think Barron and Hadji played them as advanced midfielders, and then they played them with two wide ones, the way they're kind of set up.
Here's Lewis Nielsen at the back for St Johnstone, who trail by a goal to nil. McPherson forward for Kimpioka, who's holding off Tavernier in his own half. And he's trying to run away from the Rangers captain, has to offload possession to Smith, and then McPherson goes to Jack Sanders, the centre back, and now Essel, the right centre half, and he fires it forward, and Sidibe's onto it, and he gets a touch ahead of Suter, but really good strength from the Rangers centre half to fend off Sidibe, and just about there for Butland to claim it just in the nick of time. Sidibe, another one with real pace, and one who St Johnstone have missed, and along with Kimpioka and their just willingness to run in behind, and both can get goals as well, but missing in recent weeks through their various indiscretions. Kimpioka sent off against Hibs, and Sidibe against Dundee United twice. Here's Tavernier for Rangers in the Saints half, gives it to Raskan. Raskan forward pass looking for Hadji, it's read by McPherson, and a sliding challenge intercepts it, and Raymond tries to go up the left, but Tavernier comes across and makes a sliding challenge in front of his manager Philippe Clement. Yeah,
McPherson's done well for St Johnstone coming on. He's actually kept the ball 2 or 3 times. He's really good at ball carrying, and I think that's the bit we talked about in the first half, is make sure we don't give away. They actually look like St Johnstone in better shape. They're actually defending the width of the pitch better. So it's really important the starter for St Johnstone.
Here's Raskan forward into the centre circle, good turn by Bayrami, gives it to Czerny, he's coming into the edge of the D, and he lays it to Cyril Dessers, who leaves the ball behind him in the box at a crucial moment. And well, at that moment when Cyril Dessers opens up the stride in the box, you either think it's hitting the back of the net or it's going to be something that you're not expecting, and he basically falls over the ball there.
Yeah, and we're not too surprised, are we? You know, because you know, and another day, you know, he could just take a touch and smash into the back of the net.
Tavernier's cross towards Dessers, and it misses the number 9 and misses by Rami as well, and goes out for a throw in on the far side. And we've played 53 minutes, Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
But it was a nice change of pace from Rangers, and they've certainly got to do that in the final third, you know, to create those chances for Dessers. But just looked a little bit cumbersome there, you know, just got to be a little bit more lighter on your feet, better touch and strike at goal.
That's the thing that we've actually talked about half-time. That was the bit we're talking about. That was a great opportunity, just a touch and hit across goal, and you just see he kind of falls over the ball. And that's the bit you get frustrated with him, isn't it?
And it's as if at times in games he just loses that little bit of focus, that concentration, which is so important when the ball's in and around the box.
Here's Tavernier on the right hand side, gives it infield to Hadji, has to go backwards, and it's a loose pass, and he apologises to John Souther, has to go back and retrieve it. But I wonder if Andy Kirk made the changes, and Simo Valakari also in the stands here, not officially in charge yet, as Rangers come down the left hand side. Passes intended for Bayrami, but it's asking a lot of him, and Sanders goes across, clears, but it careers into Barron, who controls and makes the pass, gets it back on the left touchline. He's not got a huge amount of room to work with, but he's tenacious. Connor Barron fires across into Dessers, who can't control it, fizzes away back to Barron, who is challenged by Smith, and it spins away for a St Johnstone throw, in much to the ire of the home fans, who felt that was a Rangers throw.
And it's great play from Barron there, you know, he's up a cul-de-sac there, but he makes room. I tell you what, I know he fires the ball in at pace to Dessers, but you know, top class centre forwards, they can deal with that, you know, and it just cannons off them. So that's where Thomas, that's where the frustration comes from.
Yeah, I think there he's actually, the ball, he's got to stop. He keeps running towards the ball. It's really hard when you run at pace towards the ball to actually then control it. I think he's just got to calm down.
Smith plays it forward, he's looking for Sidibe, who's got real pace. Suter's trying to keep pace with him, but it's on the right hand side of the box for Sidibe. He's got no support yet though, and then Suter does really well to just stay calm and size him up and then make the challenge. It's out for a throw in on the far side.
Yeah, it's good play by Suter, you know, he's got good pace as well, he's using his pace wisely. So Sidibe's really quick, but again, just stays calm, stays composed, defends it really well.
And that's the ball St Johnstone have got to play. But you know, if you're a Rangers supporter, you don't like to see those 1v1s, because all it takes is just a little slip. Yep. You know, you get bundled, you lose your balance, and the player's in goals, you know, and Rangers, they really need that second. They're going to kill this game, but at the moment, you know, they still pose a real threat. St Johnstone,
I think that was a long throw there, Derek. They got to the 18-yard line.
Need more of those.
That's St Johnstone on the right hand side. Essel curls across in, header at the near post, and that could have gone anywhere. It's Mackenzie Kirk who got the flick on, and it's been judged as a corner. I think it may have hit of Tavernier and spun behind. Bit of panic there in the Rangers box.
Yeah, and they've got 4 St Johnstone players, you know, as soon as the ball's wide, it's whipped in, and you know, 4 St Johnstone players in the box.
4 strikers.
Yeah,
4 strikers.
Which doesn't normally happen, but you know, as I say, they've threw the dice a little bit, and they're going to try and go and get something out of this game.
Corner on the far side for St Johnstone in front of their away fans, and it's right on top of Jack Butland, and goalkeeper of his quality takes that all day long, and he does, and then he flings it out for Dessers, who takes a touch and evades the challenge of Smith and feeds Jefte, who knocks it back to Prothor. But I'll be interested to see what impact Simo Valakari has at St Johnstone. SJK in Finland, he took them off and won the title back in 2015.
If that's the change he makes, you know, they're going to be a positive. It's going to be a positive change. It's going to be a attacking intent from him to try and go and win games.
Tavernier's cross, teasing, but didn't find Hadji, and then St Johnstone come up the other end with Kimpioka just over the halfway line. And he's waiting for an option, gives it to McPherson, who's fired a poor pass right back at him, and Czerny picks up and he goes backwards, which the Rangers fans don't like, and then Barron goes down, advantage being played. Here's Hadji, goes for the pass to Czerny inside the box. Václav Czerny goes back onto the right foot, and he's found the bottom corner, and Václav Czerny gets his second, gets Rangers second, and puts them on course for another 3 points in the Premiership. Twisting and turning, got it onto the right foot, puts it across the goalkeeper into the far corner, and it is Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0.
Yeah, Rangers punished them. the ball's played in, Kimpioka into McPherson, and he's really slack, and Rangers break on them, and Hadji picking the ball out, he's 35 yards out, and you know, it's a really precise pass to Czerny, who's just inside the box, right hand side. And I tell you what, Czerny does ever so well to deal with it, because there's pace on that ball, but he gets the ball out his feet, and not the cleanest of strikes, but finds that far right hand corner to give Rangers that all-important second goal.
Yeah, I think it was a fantastic pass by Hadji. I think the Rangers fans were having a wee go at Czerny for coming back inside, but it's a pass from Hadji. It's that little bit of quality, you know, I think that you need in the game, and a fantastic finish. He swivelled, you know, a good bit of skill by Czerny to get a shot off, and you know, Cam McPherson and Kimpioka will be really disappointed losing the ball there. We did talk about it again at half-time, giving the ball away in poor areas, but this time Hadji punishes St Johnstone.
Rangers are going to make a change in the aftermath of that goal. Cyril Dessers jogs off, gives the high fives to Czerny and Tavernier, and it is Hamza Igman who comes on, the Moroccan forwards, on for the final half hour here at Ibrox. Yet to score in his 4 appearances, not had too many minutes though, so it's tonight the night for him. And Rangers in a comfortable position. St Johnstone with it all to do, and they've yet to hit the target with any attempts. And they've played an hour here at Ibrox. Rangers 2, 0 to the good.
Yeah, it's a good time for Igman to come on, you know. Rangers 2-0 up, controlling the game for most part, so gives them an opportunity, and it is a hard role that, you know, to lead the line by yourself. I would have liked to have seen Rangers play with 2 up top, but I don't think it's ever going to happen under Philip Clement's reign, so it's a role difficult as that the young man's got to have to learn to adjust to.
It's funny because we all talk about playing 2 up, you play a 2 up front. It's not really a thing that happens anymore. People don't play 2 up front, 1 up, 1 off, and 1 in behind, and it always is this one striker now. And everyone wants to play more attacking football, and actually not playing 2 strikers. It's a thing. It's not something that's sort of going out of the game. It's not fashionable anymore to do it.
I'm old-fashioned. That's maybe what it is.
I can tell by your jacket and your trousers.
It's the best gear I've got.
Sinclair out to Nielsen for St Johnstone, who are winless in 6, and this will make it 7 surely, unless they can really provide some sort of spark that we've not seen from them yet in this game against Rangers at Ibrox. And Rangers comfortable at the moment. St Johnstone, well, you look at their fixtures coming up. St Johnstone after the international break, Ross County at home, that feels huge. Dundee away, St Mirren away, and then Hearts at home. So it's a run that Simo Valakari will feel he can get his teeth into, especially that county game at home. That feels massive.
Yeah, they're all important games.
Oh, it's broken for Sidibe here, and he's gone to the corner of the box. If it's the strike in, and it's flashed by Butland's right hand post as the goalkeeper dived across. Still 2-0 Rangers.
So Derek was talking about those wee mistakes, that little slip, and it's a 1v1. He gets a shot, just whizzes past the sort of the right hand post.
I tell you what, it's a hell of a hit as well, isn't it? I know it's away over that right hand side, he's at the angle, but I tell you what, it certainly gets hold of it. And you know, Butland, you know, he's worried by it. You know, he's on the stretch, but not sure how far it missed by. But you know, Rangers just got to be careful at times.
You're listening to Sports Sound live on BBC Radio Scotland. Premiership coverage from Ibrox. Rangers 2-0 to the good against St Johnstone. And highlights of all the games, 10:30 tonight. BBC Scotland Sports Scene. And Sinclair into Clark, who goes down, looks at the referee, nothing given. Raskan emerges with the ball, and Clark's got back up and won it back, and then Raskan just has a kick at him really as he ran past and goes into the referee's notebook. It's a bit needless that from Nico Raskan.
I think he just got caught off guard there. I didn't think he expected the pass back off Czerny. You know, it's actually a good little tussle in there between the two of them. He gives away a needless free kick and obviously a booking.
Yeah, Nicky Clark, well, produced one of the couple of moments of the season so far. Nicky Clark with those 2 free kicks against Ross County. And St Johnstone, we're wondering how they didn't win that game.
I've not seen Nicky. I had Nicky Clark as well. Never saw him hit a free kick in my life.
Well, he hit 2.
Yeah, crackers.
Yeah, and the second one was even better than the first. Suter fizzes it into Czerny, and Czerny goes across to a teammate, but it's cut out, and Jefty picks up infield from the left, a little flick from Hadji. The Rangers lose the ball. Smith, again he's looking for Sidibe. Again, John Souttar reads the game really well, and then he's caught late by Sidibe after he won the foot race, and that'll be a free kick to Rangers.
I think that's a booking. If I'm honest with you, I think it's a poor challenge by Sidibe.
Do you know what, I'm going to go the opposite way. I don't mind that.
I know you don't mind it, but I think that's a booking nowadays. You know, he's lucky because I think he got sent off for a couple of those.
It always seems worse when the forward puts a challenge on a centre back or a defender. To me, it just shows that desire and a hunger. And I don't mind that. Did they get booked for that?
No, he didn't. No, they're asking him books for a similar challenge, so that's what I'm trying to say, the consistency.
Incidentally, the attendance 44,744, so Ibrox very close to full. As Shefty comes down the left and gives away the free kick with a barge on Essel. It's just got a bit scrappy the last couple of minutes since Rangers got the second goal. I think the fans are getting frustrated. They're not building on it.
I think Rangers just got to be calm. I think they've tried to force passes. It's whether sometimes that pressure from the crowd, isn't it? They want to see goals and stuff, but sometimes you've got to play smart. You know, sometimes you can't listen to the crowd. You've got to actually just play the game how you see it. And I think Rangers are trying to force the game, and they just need to control it, and then gaps will open up for them.
Yeah, well, they lead by 2-0, and so far so good for Philippe Clement, who is down in front of us at the edge of his technical area. Andy Kirk at the edge of his, discussing pointedly with the fourth official. And it's forward by St Johnstone, flicked on by Sidibe, but to no teammate, and then Rangers trying to put it up the other end, and another free kick, and that's a few now in the last couple of minutes.
It's very stop-starty, hasn't it? The last probably 3 or 4 minutes, there's been a lot of free kicks given. The ref's not really let the game flow. He's stopping it for every little incident.
Tavernier, 5 yards in from the right touchline, gives it to Souttar, who has been excellent this evening when he has been tested by the pace of Kimpioka or Sidibe. It's not been too often, and he's dealt with it when he's needed to. Here's Rangers coming forward. Souttar up towards the halfway line, gives it to Czerny. Start of the night so far with both goals. Gives it to Tavernier. Little backheel return to Czerny. He's into the box. Can he work it onto the left foot? He goes square, and it's the low shot from Igman and into the gleeful waiting arms of Ross Sinclair.
Derek, please tell me, why did he not shoot there?
I tell you what, it's brilliant play by Tavernier and Czerny down this right hand side. I love the little back heel from Tavernier onto Czerny. I don't know, maybe the way I pass could have took a little bit off it. Maybe I've been overcritical, but it hits the target. Could have got hold of it a little bit better? Of course he could, but it is a shot in target. It just, he just maybe could have took a touch. I don't know. Maybe what do you think, Callum?
I thought
take it first time,
if you're on a hat trick, I think it's one of those. I think the ball across, I think he's got to do better with his finish there, definitely. It's better. A more confident striker would have gone side foot and hard.
Really good work down the right, incidentally, by Mackenzie Kirk for St Johnstone. He's got them a throw in line with the edge of the penalty area on the far side, in front of the Sandy Jardine stand here at Ibrox, and they go throw in short back to Kirk, and then it's Sidibe and Essel combining, and it's back towards the right hand side, and McPherson and gives it to Smith, who nicks it away from Raskan, and then a little flick to Smith. He's not got much room to work with right on that far side on the touchline. He's twisting away from Bayrami, sticks at it. He's done really well here, fires a low cross in, but proper read it, takes a touch and clears with the left foot, and it's over Sanders who's pulling back Igman here, and I think the Rangers fans certainly wanted a free kick. He did have hands on him, but the referee unmoved. Now it's McPherson, square, and then forward for St Johnstone. Kirk's made a run, controls it with a shoulder forward, and then there's a slip, and Mackenzie Kirk's into the right hand side of the box. Can he find a teammate? He goes for goal, saved by Butland, and the pass was probably a cross goal to Kimpioka.
Well, Kirk's got to find him. He's at the back post. He's got the angle's always against him. He's got to get his head up. Kimpioka at the back post. He's certainly. Do you know what I was just about to say? This St Johnstone side, they aren't going away. Rangers 2 ahead at the moment, but I don't know, there's a feistiness about them. You know, Sidibe, obviously we've spoke about they've got the 4 strikers on the park, but no, they're not laying down one bit whatsoever. They're still going at it and still very much in this game.
They should score that, really. I think it's a good play. I think Kirk's done really well down the side. He's actually got 2 or 3 options. He's got Sidibe, he's got Kimpioka on the other side. He's just got to roll the pass across and he scores. Rangers, it makes it 2-1. You're right. I think St Johnstone will still think they're in the game. They've got that little attacking intent. Rangers have been a wee bit sloppy since they've gone 2-0 up.
Barron, neat pass for Tierney midway through the St Johnstone half. Again, he's coming in the field. Barron goes backwards to Suter across the proper, and just a few hints that the fans here going a wee bit frustrated that they want the ball forward quicker. But Rangers 2 to the goods and in control of this game.
I looked at a couple of Rangers players there. They had their hands on their knees a little bit as they were a wee bit tired. The ones that played on Thursday night there, they looked a wee bit leggy.
Here's Proper, goes to Jefte, and then in the part to Hadji on the halfway line. Raskan, who's dropped into centre half position, then to Suter. Sidibe comes across, but it's fed to Proper by Suter, and then Jefte, who stretches his legs a couple of times down that left hand side in the second half, but gives it infield to Barron, then Raskan, then Barron pivots, gives it to Jefte on the left hand touchline. He's moving up towards the edge of the box, in line with the edge of the box, backwards, then infield to Barron, then a little slip pass for Hadji, rolls it across, Igman touch, shot blocked, and he battles back. Igman wins it well, as does Barron, and the free kick has been belatedly awarded, and the referee's pointing to his near side linesman as if he's perhaps given something. I don't know.
Was it Barron that caught him there?
Yeah, I wonder if
it's like a sandwich, wasn't it, between the two of them?
Yeah, Igman I think won the ball, but I think Barron came in and caught Essel.
I mean, that's what I like about Barron. He's not the biggest, the tallest, but I tell you what, physically he
pushed himself.
He gets tore in about it. It was good play.
Yeah.
Just that move was good. You know, again Barron, that precise pass. Hadji just find that little bit of space in the box, squares it to Igaman, and you know, another opportunity that, you know, again, could they have got hold of the ball a little better? Yeah, I'm sure he could have.
It's good play by Rangers because they're a bit more patient in the ball, and I think they just passed it, they moved it, all of a sudden the gap warmed up, great pass in, great opportunity for Rangers score.
Jefte just takes it back over the halfway line for Rangers, just searching for a wee bit of injection of tempo again after that second goal. But here's Tierney, who's hunting a hat-trick, comes in from the whitewash and gives it to Suter, and then looking for Barron on the right hand side, and St Johnstone get the foot on it, but it breaks for Tierney, and his inside ball for Barron is picked off by Raymond, who rampages over the halfway line, and Barron is battling back, but Raymond gives it to Kimpioka on the left of the Rangers box. Kimpioka got Suter in front, he checks away, and then Suter gets a good foot in, and that's going to trundle away for a St Johnstone corner kick.
Good defending again by Suter. I think Kimpioka's actually just slide the ball into Raymond. He's made a great run. You know, just that final pass from St Johnstone could really hurt Rangers. But again, for me, Suter, you know, for me, he's been probably one of Rangers' best players tonight. He's dealt with that pace really well.
Yeah, and looks like Casanwiro is being ready to come on for Rangers after this corner. As Cammy McPherson for St Johnstone on this near side gets ready to take. 72 minutes nearly on the clock. It's Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0. McPherson's corner, back post, Butland comes, gets something on it, and it fires over to this near side.
I'm not sure he got anything on it there.
He was nowhere near him.
He came and cannoned off someone and fizzed away, but now it's Raymond, back to Essel, short pass to McPherson. St Johnstone just going in a bit of confidence through the lines for Clark, takes it out to the right touchline. He's not got too many options in a forwards thinking sense, but he goes back to Smith. St Johnstone trailing by 2, haven't scored in their last 6 games against Rangers, lost them all. Can they at least get one to plant some doubt into the Rangers' minds? But that long ball doesn't come off, it's out for a throw-in, and now Rangers are going to make this change. Casanwiro is going to replace Václav Tierney, who is the player of the match tonight, as He comes off with his 2 goals, 1 in either half, and Carisho Casanwiro is going to come on for Rangers. And Feyenoord's Looney, and he gets a hug from Tierney, who's all hugs tonight, and his manager comes up and gives him a high five and shakes to the hands. And St Johnstone are going to make a couple of changes as well. David Kjeltens and Graham Carey are going to be the 2 to come on, and Carey, good quality from set pieces and often a creative spark for St Johnstone. It's Raymond who makes way, one of the players to make way, as is Mackenzie Kirk. So St Johnstone emptying the bench to see if they can at least get perhaps a goal that would plant some nerves in Rangers' minds, Callum.
I think Mackenzie Kirk can be very proud of his performance for a young man. I think he's actually worked really hard. He's created chances. You know, a really good performance from the young man tonight.
Yeah, he started the last few in the absence of Sidibe and Kimpioka, obviously the son of Andy Kirk, who is down below us in the dugout. And yeah, he's had a prolific record with Hearts in the B team, Mackenzie Kirk. As the switch from Butland to Casanwiro, will flick forward for Tavernier, controls it nicely into his path, and he charges forward down the right in line with the edge of the box, low cross towards Iglan, and it skips away from the Moroccan striker and out for a throw in on the far side. Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0, 74 minutes played.
There's a little kind of tweet. Obviously Tierney's come off, he's got 2 goals, you'll be absolutely delighted. The captain Tavernier is going to play further upfield, as we see that on the right hand side. There's a difference, he just goes on the outside right away. I tell you what, it's a wonderful ball that he just whips across that 6-yard box. So normally in that area, Tierney is always inclined to cut in, you know, come into where bodies are, but you know, not Tavernier, you know, and he just sees it. He doesn't need to beat the player. He just knocks it into an area and then just whips it across that 6-yard box. I mean, he's a centre forward. I mean, it's begging to be put into the back of net, a ball like that.
Yeah, Casanwiro gone to right back, having played left back in the win over Malmo, and he's here and he's read that long ball really well and nods it back to Jack Butland. Comfortable stuff.
I think it's just management. I think he's just trying to, obviously Kimpioka's obviously got that electric pace on that side. You know, I think he's just maybe trying to shore it up, you know, on and make sure that they're comfortable in the game for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, and that was a tweet in the first half. Tavernier coming from deep, you know, the freedom of the park. You know, in the second half, Kimpioka just, you know, coming over into that area. Tavernier hasn't had that joy, but going to play further up.
I'm not sure Tavernier plays centre mid though.
He's popping up all over the place, Tavernier. He's caught there, and he'll get a free kick in the middle of the park. The Rangers cruising at the moment, 2 goals up. Philippe Clement watches on. Suter to Tavernier, right footed pass to Casanwiro on the right wing. Infield to Tavernier, who's moving towards the edge of the box. Chance for a shot here from Tavernier, takes one with the side of the foot and it cannons off. Jack Sanders complaints for a handball briefly, but waved away by the referee for now, and Ross Sinclair, the goalkeeper, has it.
Just like his part in the Red Sea there, they just opened up for him. He actually probably had too much time. He didn't really have anybody to sort of play around or shoot around there. A couple of passes and Rangers were in again.
And that's good work from Kimpioka. Well, I thought it was, but he's pulled back. Casemiro, Rangers free kick. They get on with it, back to Suter, then Raskan. And now Proper. He carries forwards. And Yanis Hadji to Raskan. So there was a check for handball there, but in the background for a potential penalty after that Tavernier deflected shot. But on we go. As Tavernier plays it forward, it's deflected. Barron comes across, beaten to it by McPherson. It's lumped forward by Nielsen, only as far as Casanwiro, and then St Johnstone send it back up as Suter goes after it. Sidibe closes down Butland, the goalkeeper, who stays calm and knocks it to Suter.
I'd like to see Suter's sprint distance in this game, because I tell you what, he's had to sprint, you know, 10, 12 times in this game. He's actually had to, and what I like about it is, as soon as the ball's played forward, he's just on his bike. There's not a thought process in his head apart from let's get back and defend it.
And here come Rangers. Proper dinks it over the top. Chance here, saved by Sinclair, and then half clear to Hadji on the edge, and it's booted away. St Johnstone clear that its offside flag has gone up anyway, so that wouldn't have counted. Rangers looking to add the third goal that would kill this game off for sure.
Yeah, just caught offside there. It's interesting, Hadji, you know, is at times he doesn't take part in the build-up, but he's quite clever, just finds those little pockets of spaces. But when he's found those pockets of space, you know, and when he's on the ball, you know, he's really clever with the ball. He's passing really, again, precise. It's been excellent. So, you know, it's been a kind of quiet introduction, but effective as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Just that he's got that wee bit of quality, hasn't he? And he just uses it at the right time. It's quite a good lesson for younger players. You know, you got a lot of quality. Sometimes use it at the correct times. You know, when instead of trying to do it all the time and play hard passes.
And here come Rangers forwards. I mean, it's Sparring, can't take it on the edge of the D. Little pass in front, and it just didn't quite come off for the Rangers midfielder, and then Kimpioka's caught by Hadji, and he's gone down in a bit of pain here. Kimpioka. Hadji gets a talking to from David Dickinson, the referee, but Kimpioka, you can, and the yellow card does actually come out for Yanis Hadji.
Yeah, it does catch him. I don't think there's intent to hurt the player. It is a sore one.
It's like bone on bone, it's shin on shin, it's no straight legs. It's always one thing I have a wee bit think about nowadays, the shin pads.
They're not even shin pads.
That's what I mean, though.
Tiny.
You know, it's one of those, it's something you have to look at, for safety of players.
Well, it's been checked for a potential red card here, serious foul play. Yanis Hadji on Kimpioka, he is in serious pain. The St Johnstone striker, he's flat on the turf now, he sits up.
It didn't look anything bad. He wasn't out of control, he just hung his leg out. It wasn't though it was a malicious tackle.
And do you know something, is what I'm going to say, Callum? Even for Hadji, it's quite dangerous just to hang out a leg like that, you know, because you're not in control. Even when you hang a leg out like that, even the force that a player comes in with, you know, you can hurt yourself. But for me, we're only sitting 30-40 yards away from the incident. I don't think there was intent to hurt the player. It's just maybe is this the right thing to see? Maybe just lazily hanging his leg out.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He's not a natural tackler, but I don't think they're going to have a look.
He's going to the monitor here, David Dickinson. He's been asked by his VAR, Stephen McLean, to have another look at this.
And I wonder, Thomas, if even think about the player, he's not that type, you know. He missed a huge part. He was out the game for a good year and a bit, you know. So, and you could see he was apologetic. I don't think there was intent there. I hope common sense prevails, but.
Yeah,
but we've only had one take at it.
So the referee is
going to send them off.
He's got his checklist for serious foul play. You know, is it endangering the opponent? Is it reckless? It's all that stuff. Intent doesn't really come into it. I'm sure Yanis Hadji didn't mean to hurt him, but according to the referee, it's serious foul play after that review. And Yanis Hadji, on his Rangers return, his first appearance for over a year for Rangers, and it's ended in a red card, and he goes off. He gets applause from the Rangers fans. He shakes his head, he looks a bit downhearted. He got a big hug from his manager. I think they're all feeling a bit sorry for him. That's not how he would have wanted his return to go, and Rangers are going to have to see out this game, though they are 2 goals to the good with 10 men, and we have about 8.5 left of the 90 minutes.
I would like to see that again, you know, because from here I couldn't see how it could be a red card, you know, because it was just, as you said, it was a lazy hang leg out. You know, he's caught Kimpioka in the shin. Kimpioka's not wearing any shin pads, which is probably wrong as well. But again, it's one of those, is it shin and shin that made it sound worse and look worse.
And another thing I'm thinking about as well, the force that there didn't seem from where we're sitting, a real force about the challenge. So again, we're not privy to the replays. We get one take at it. So, and again, you look at VARs at slow motion.
Corner comes in and it's cleared at a near post.
Just saw a replay over there. He's actually looking like he catches him on the ankle, which we don't see from here. So he looks like he stamps on his ankle, which again is just quickness of foot. Again, really hard on Hadji's, not got no intent to hurt him, but you know, if that's lateral, he's caught him above the ankle. And then sometimes it is a sending off.
And St Johnstone have their free kick midway through the Rangers half, fairly central area, and there's going to be a couple of subs, one for each side. Fran Franchak, the youngster, is going to come on. for St Johnstone, and Dujon Sterling is going to replace Nadim Bayrami for Rangers as Philippe Clement looks to shore things up, I think, with Yanis Hadji sending off, and Bayrami applauds the fans here at Ibrox as he walks off the park.
Well, we've seen a couple of exciting endings to games today. Maybe see another one now.
Yeah, that would be quite something.
I couldn't deal with another one, to be honest with you. It's interesting that Sterling's coming on because at one period of time, he was Rangers' most important player. It doesn't seem to get a look in at times, you know, so it's really intriguing.
Do you think it's one of those, Derek, where he doesn't have a real position?
Yeah.
Because he can play everywhere. He's great for a manager. But on the flip side, for his career, he's not like brilliant at one.
McPherson's free kick is headed away, and it's hit by David Keltons, blocked by Suter up into the air. Sanders heads it back towards the penalty area, chested by Sidibe, and then Sanders back to Smith, still in the Rangers half, and it's far to the back post. Nicky Clark's waiting, chests it down. It's Nicky Clark who smashes it into the back of the net, and the flag goes up on the far side. It's ruled out. Nicky Clark thought he'd given St Johnstone a real lifeline here at Ibrox, but the flag is up, so it won't count for now. It will be checked.
Fantastic ball from Smith, yeah. And Nicky's just used his composure. He's taken it down his chest, and he's fired it in behind Jack Butland into the net. It was a brilliant goal. He's still waiting to see if it's going to be ruled out for offside.
Do you know, Calum, I'm thinking,
I wasn't sure.
It's a wonderful ball. I'm thinking you've got to take that first time, but I tell you what, young Clark, he knows better, because I tell you what, it takes a brilliant touch, and what a finish that was.
Brilliant. That's the quality Nicky's got, you know, and I think if St Johnstone can keep him fit, he's going to be a massive player for this season for St Johnstone.
Well, he was the last player to score for St Johnstone against Rangers back in November 2022 in that win I mentioned earlier that Callum was in charge of. They've gone 6 since losing to Rangers and not scoring, and has Nicky Clark scored here, and I think the verdict is offside, so that goal will not count, and Rangers' 2-goal lead is intact.
That's the first real bit of quality we've had from St Johnstone. Great ball over, great touch by Nicky, and it's really enforcing for St Johnstone, because we could have had an exciting last 5 minutes.
But I did say, Thomas, this St Johnstone side, they aren't going away. You know, they've knocked down tools, they've kept at it, and they're very much, you know, still in this game. Certainly Rangers down to 10 men, so, you know, there will be time added on, that's for sure, so there's plenty of time for them to, you know, salvage something from this game.
Yeah, they could do with one quickly. That's goal scoring hasn't been their forte. Well, for a long time, St Johnstone really struggled for goals last season in their fight to avoid the drop. They did so on the last day. Struggling this season, but it's been a spirited second half performance, certainly, as McPherson plays it into Carey, gets it back, goes into the centre circle where Smith has it. He goes for the switch of play, dinks out to David Keltons on this left hand side. He takes it first time with the side of the foot into the air. Clark goes up, it bounces for Sidibe. Sidibe trying to take it under his spell, it still bounces, goes for the overhead kick on the edge of the box, and it was down into the ground and comfortable for Butland, but great improvisation.
Yeah. I think for me, you want to he's got a great position. If he scores that, that's probably 1 out of 1,000, maybe more than that. It looks great, doesn't it? The fans like it. As a manager, you're going, come on, get it down, let's get a shot properly.
Yeah, it was Butland was comfortable. It kind of went into the ground, but he went round at some speed. And here's Tavernier, gives it to Barron for Rangers towards the right corner of the box, but they lose possession and Nielsen strides forward. He's over the halfway line looking for Sidibe, but it's intercepted again by John Suter, who holds off Sidibe and buys his team a priceless free kick. And he's been a standout this evening for Rangers in defence when he has been called upon, John Suter.
Yeah, he has. He's been excellent, but again, I don't think there's too much in that. Just, you know, 2 players tussling, challenging. It's not always a foul when you go to the ground.
I think the referee's given loads of fouls for nothing. Any slight contact, if somebody falls over, he gives a foul.
And that's what our games, we don't want to lose that, because it's great, those 1v1 duels, you know, and I just didn't think there was a foul in that.
Rangers 2 goals to the good against St Johnstone, 2-0 up, 87 minutes played, and Yanis Hadji has been sent off 7 minutes ago to make things slightly more awkward, and then Nicky Clark just had a goal chalked off as well for offside for St Johnstone. But Rangers comfortable on course for another 3 points to edge towards the top 2. Celtic and Aberdeen as Casemiro scoops a little pass over the top intended for Tavernier, but it sails straight out the park. St Johnstone, well, I wonder if Simo Valakari, Callum, watching on in the stand behind us, will feel there's enough positives to take into the Ross County game after the international break.
Without a doubt, you know, I've been actually quite pleased with what I've watched. You know, I think here's a chance
behind for Sidibe. Butland's come and he does a diving header straight out the park. Got there before Sidibe, who was offside anyway.
Now, this is what kills me, Cal. It annoys me because we know he's offside. The linesman knew it, but the play's allowed to go on. And Butland, you know, what is he, 6'4"? He comes flying out full force and catches him. You know, that's a real sore one. That can cause an injury, which there's no need for it.
Yeah, I actually think Butland's headed it. I totally agree with what you're saying there. Yeah, just put your flag up, because we've had a couple of instances in games where my goalie could have been really badly hurt, and then the linesman sticks his flag up and you go, come on.
Yep.
You know, I actually think there Jack's done really well, and it's Sidibe's crashed right into the Jack, so it's one of those, it's what foul is it as well, but he looks like he landed on his head when he flew over. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, it's a real dunty too. It's clear to see he was offside by a yard, right? Yeah,
the linesman,
right in front of us.
Yeah, but the players don't know that, and that they're going full pelt, 100% right into the challenge. And you know, if the flag is up, a bit of communication between the players. Butland sees it. That challenge doesn't need to happen. So, thankfully, he's okay.
You're listening to Sports Sound live on BBC Radio Scotland, and we're into the final minute of the 90 at Ibrox. Rangers 2, 10-man Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0, and Rangers on course to keep pace with the top two. We brought you live commentary earlier from Pittodrie and from Dingwall, where Celtic and Aberdeen went 7 from 7 this season, and Rangers on course to rack up another win here as it's fired into Casemiro, who has space in front of him, and he pokes it towards Dujon Sterling, but it's going to go through to Sinclair, the Saints keeper, as some of the Rangers fans head for the exits, confident the job is done here. And Sunday night,
I love that little
action.
passage of play there when the fullback breaks forward. Doesn't find a blue jersey, and little Barron, you know, he's right away, he's like, get back into position, you know. Marshall, I love that.
6 minutes to be added at the end of the 90 as Sidibe fouls proper on the far side, and Rangers will get the free kick, and Raskan has it, goes backwards now, square for Suter.
Going back to your question about St Johnstone, I've seen enough. I think it's really important that their key players stay fit. That's a big one. I've seen enough on the attacking side. I think they're going to get chances. Probably just the one for me is one out possession and defensively. You know, can they do enough when they don't have the ball to stop conceding goals, because they've conceded far too many? And if you can sort that out, I think, you know, it's a formula for decent success.
Down the right with Rangers from Casemiro, he's at the byline, tries to squeeze across in, it's hit off Smith, and behind for a corner kick. 1 minute of the 6 added at the end of this game played. Rangers in a position to swing a corner in and try and add that third goal, and it's not been swashbuckling chance after chance for Rangers, but it has been comfortable enough, never been in too much bother. At the other end is Tavernier readies himself to take this corner kick, puts the right arm up and he fires it to the back post, headed away to the edge, and Casemiro with a right-footed strike, and Sinclair has to touch that over the crossbar. Really clean hit. The goalkeeper does his job.
It's a brilliant hit from Casemiro. You know, I thought that was going in there. So in the top right hand corner, what a save. But keeper, does he see it late? Maybe. But I tell you what, he gets his hand up with his right hand just to divert it over the bar. Brilliant strike, marvellous save.
Yeah, I'll do a lot of confidence for young Ross. He's obviously been at St Johnstone for a long time. I had him there, and he had a few bad injuries, but it's great to see him playing. That'll do his confidence a world of good.
Corner on the far side, comes in with the right foot onto the 6-yard box. It's headed away by Sanders, and Raskan brings it forward up to the edge of the box. Then he has a strike, which this time sails into the Copland stands, and it remains Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0. 92 of the 96 played, and job done really for Rangers. And there's a second ball on the park here as Lewis Nielsen tries to take out defence. He ignores it initially, plays the pass, and then knocks it off, and on we go. Nicky Clark, who thought he'd pulled one back, in the closing stages as he plays it for Kimpioka, and the sliding challenge from Suter as he comes across. St Johnstone with the throw in line with the edge of the area, and it's 2-0 to Rangers. Kelton's with the throw to the feet of Clark, and it's knocked out by Barron. St Johnstone with a throw. Can they finish with a little flourish and try and get one back and set up a grandstand finish?
I think John Suter, he'll sleep tonight.
Here come Rangers. Breaks for Barron, who's got time to take it away and move it to Tavernier, and Tavernier goes long in the air looking for Sterling, but comfortable at the back for St Johnstone. And now Carey outside of the boot, pass over to the far side, and Franchak turns back to Jack Sanders, square for Lewis Nielsen, and Andy Kirk is urging his team forward. Kimpioka takes it back to goal, and he's tripped by Casanwiro. St Johnstone free kick. 93.5 minutes played, still 2-0 to Rangers. Live on Sports Sound, highlights on Sports Scene later, 10:30. Of all three of the games today, and they've been good games. As Carey receives the ball on the left-hand side for St Johnstone, gets it back. He's going to have time to cross to the far post. Sanders has gone up, header, and then Clark was lurking at the near post, but it evades him and goes through to Jack Butland, who sends it long. And Egaman, it hits off the back of his head and goes out for a throw-in, and a big grin from the striker. Lost sight of that one, it just cannoned off the back of his head.
I think he got stuck in the lights there a wee bit.
Yeah, we'll give him the benefit of that. Here is Matt Smith for St Johnstone, and they just need to get it forward, really. Nothing to lose now, minute and a half left, trailing by 2. Franchak comes down the right hand side. Dujon Sterling goes across to meet him, puts the challenge in, and has won the throw in for Rangers.
A bit learning curve for St Johnstone as well. You know, we were maybe kind of a little bit critical. They maybe overplayed. They tried to play out a little bit too much at times instead of turning Rangers. But you know, with the introduction with Sabidi, you know, and going with the 4 strikers, and Callum's absolutely right. You know, you do look at them, and there is a lot of work with there. So, but they just got to be a little bit better in terms of what they do without the ball. But they're certainly going to have a threat going forward, that's for sure.
Rangers free kick, short to Barron in the centre circle, and then Sterling and Raskan and Casanwiro. Rangers knocking it about all the way back to Butland into the final 45 seconds. Short pass out to that far side, and it's flung forward, and Sanders is tussling with Eagman, and he has to knock it behind for a corner kick, which Rangers will gleefully accept. And Ibrox awaits another 3 points, which are in the offing. The stadium has emptied somewhat, but it was close to capacity for this Sunday evening, rare Sunday evening Premiership game.
Yeah, the punters there on their way home, but nice to see Eggman there, you know, using that physicality. He's not had maybe a lot of the ball, couple efforts at goal, you know, could have maybe done a little bit better, but such a tough role that, you know, the lone striker.
Corner comes in, back post, header for Proper, wide of the left hand upright and behind, and that I think will be that. We've played the 96 minutes and might be able to take this goal kick, and the full-time whistle is blown, and Rangers get a vital 3 points before the international break to close the gap at the top to Celtic and Aberdeen, back to 5. It was important they did so. It wasn't swashbuckling stuff. They didn't pepper the St Johnstone goal as such, but they've got the job done with a bit to spare, no doubt. And Václav Černý, the hero on the night, a goal in either half. First on 34 minutes, lovely skill on the edge of the box, shifted onto the left foot and just passed it into the bottom corner across the goalkeeper, and he got another after the break as well. A little shimmy in the box onto the right foot. Wasn't the cleanest of strikes, but he did enough to divert it across Ross Sinclair into the far corner to double Rangers leads. It got a bit nervy at the end when Yanis Hadji, making his first Rangers appearance for over a year, ended up being sent off after a VAR review for a high challenge on Benjamin Kimpioka, and then Nicky Clark thought he'd pulled one back to set nerves alight here at Ibrox from the home fans, but in the end that was chalked off for offside. It was a nice finish at the back post, chest and across the goalkeeper, but ultimately did not stand, and Rangers saw it out comfortably enough. An important win for Philippe Clement and his side. St Johnstone's winless run extends to 7 matches in all competitions, but there are enough positives for new boss Simo Valakari to take as he prepares to take charge properly after the international break, and Rangers go into that in better spirits. Full time at Ibrox, it has finished. Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0.